Today's episode is brought to you by Coal Creek Equine, makers of the best equine spa in the industry. If you want your horses to be world champions, you better put them in a Coal Creek. Well, let's get started here. Well, Clint, thank you for being here. Flint. Did I call you Clint?
You're Clint.
God damn. I need another drink.
I have a friend that calls me, that used to call me Flinton.
Flinton. Did
It's
I just call you Clint?
Yeah.
God damn, I need to drink a lot more, man. Okay, Flint. Well, for everybody, Flint Rasmussen, correct? Did I fuck that up?
Well, no, that's good. I'm trying to
Rasmussen.
think if I ever heard you say my last
I
name.
haven't. That's what I'm
Never.
saying.
It's just
I knew it was
Flint,
something
yeah.
fucked up that I wasn't being able to pronounce. I knew that for sure. That's why when I got in there, I said, how do I exactly say your last name? So I butchered it a little bit. But Flint, we've known each other now for, probably 20 years, a long time.
Very close.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And always been friendly and bullshitted and so forth. And I think we met initially through Ken and Billy Bray with Equibrand. I think somehow they got us introduced.
Yeah, because Billy, who I call B,
Yes.
Our families are friends. We were in high school at the same time.
Oh, you
in
guys the same
Montana.
age, you and B?
We graduated the same year from high school. She was from a school we played. She was a great athlete.
Yeah.
She was a great athlete. And our parents were friends. We go way back. So, yeah, that was the connection.
And that's in Montana, correct?
In Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Flint, let me ask you this then. How would a lot of people are going to know who you are, of course, but there's also going to be people listening to this that don't know who you are. How would you describe yourself as, I know you're retired now, but what's the correct word you were? Were you a professional rodeo clown, professional rodeo entertainer? What was the category that you would have classed yourself in?
Well,
because it wouldn't mean a bullfighter.
no, and a lot of people say, well, you don't like to be called a clown, you're a bullfighter.
Yeah.
I wasn't a bullfighter.
Yes.
And a lot of rodeo clowns came from that.
Yeah.
They were a bullfighter and wore out and moved. They always say, I moved to the barrel, So I was for years, I was a rodeo clown and barrelman. That's kind of that rodeo title.
Yeah.
Now what has happened, rodeo clowns, and I have actually been kind of outspoken about it.
Yeah.
Be proud of that title, because now they call themselves, hey, you're a rodeo entertainer. Well,
So they think now clown's derogatory? Is that kind of the...
well, here's what happened.
Fuck, even rodeo's getting woke. What the fuck is going on? That was like the last frontier. You
That
son
was-
of a bitch
you're
are
a
supposed
clown.
to hold it down.
Well, so I go to the PBR, and went exclusively to the PBR in 2006. And they said, what are we going to call you? Because it's not a rodeo.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of more contemporary kind of.
You did?
I don't wear big shoes, and
Yeah.
I kept the makeup
Yeah.
to kind of as that tradition, but I changed the style a little bit, and so there was a discussion about, well, you're not a rodeo clown because it's not a rodeo, and well, I'm the arena entertainer in a sense.
right,
I
yeah.
just kind of remember bringing it up, and it took. Well, now a lot of the rodeo guys, I'm your rodeo entertainer. Be proud. I have 8 buckles that say PRCA Clown of the Year.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
that's
that's awesome.
there's a lot of history there.
Yes, there is.
So,
and we're
yeah.
going to get into that today. That's for damn sure. But the thing that impressed me when I first met you, and I've seen you many times over the years, in the stands, is obviously you're extremely talented at what you did and very funny and very edgy and just broke the mold on what traditional you would think rodeo clowns did for many years. But the thing that impressed me more than anything, and we'll get into it later in the story, is I don't know if you're the only one or one of few that could not just make a living doing this, make a damn good living. Like you rung the bell. When you went to PBR, without saying numbers, from what I heard, you fucking rung the bell, and I was like, yes. When I heard that they signed a contract with you, I'm like, that's fucking awesome. That's a game changer because when I would think of that industry, a rodeo clown, they're barely getting by. They're going from weekend to weekend, and I'm sure you were like that in the beginning years.
Definitely.
So for you to get to that height, I was just proud of you. I just thought that's friggin' awesome that we took something from a borderline hobby, borderline getting by, and they're paying you like a professional athlete. They're paying you like a big-time bull rider. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was
Long journey, of
I
course.
don't know that it was as great as everybody kind of thinks,
Yeah.
but it came from somewhere where I could make more than I was rodeoing and didn't have to work quite as much.
that's right.
I mean, now, believe me, I was on plenty of airplanes.
Damn right you were.
But yeah, and I think it was the structure of it. There were a couple elements to it that made it really unique. Number one, a lot of people thought it was a no rodeos allowed thing, an anti-PRCA thing, and it wasn't. And one thing most people don't know at all is I put the stipulation in the contract, and it was any event that I work while under contract has to be a PBR sanctioned event in arena. That's not anti-rodeo. That was pro PBR. If you want to see Flint, you got to come to something with that PBR logo on it. And the reason I did it, I never had to make a decision. If Reno Rodeo called me or Cheyenne Frontier Day, you say, well, can I sneak away and do Cheyenne? Sure. Well, then Ellensburg calls, says, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why aren't you? So I did that.
Yeah.
And it was
Were you glad you did it?
Very glad I did it. Yeah. I mean, it really did put me at ease because I still, all those years, I had rodeos call. Man, it's our 100th.
Yeah.
Which I will say, I performed in the arena, one performance of the 100th anniversary of the Pendleton Roundup. All I had to say to the PBR was, hey, can I go make an
Pretty
appearance?
historic.
They go, yeah.
Yeah, pretty historic. Yeah.
And it was structured, I was, and still am, and was before that, I'm an employee of the company. So you think of the history of rodeo.
Yeah.
They even call them contract personnel.
Yeah.
They're independent contractors. Nobody works for the PRCA. They work for Pendleton and Cheyenne and Ellensburg and the NFR.
Yeah.
But I'm an employee. I had retirement, insurance, took care of my family. So that was the difference.
Well, it was amazing what you did, and you broke the mold and set a new bar. Let's go back to the beginning, mate. First of all, how old are you?
I am 56.
Okay, so
I
I'm
know
49.
I saw the surprise on your face.
Yeah, 56, yeah.
Yeah.
So born and raised where?
I was born north central Montana and raised, we were about 4 years old. We moved to a little town of 1,700 people, still 1,700 people. Probably different. My Montana probably looks different than what people picture Montana.
Why? How would you say that?
It's still a little agricultural town that struggles. There's parts of Montana that they can't build schools fast enough because people are moving in there. And there's a lot of Montana not like that at all.
Yes.
Because there's still those ag towns, not much going on. And 1,700 people, Choteau, Montana. My parents are still alive and still live there.
Oh, truly. Now, came from a ranching background. What kind of
It
background?
was kind of interesting. My parents at one time were teachers. But as far back as I can remember, my dad was a partner in a insurance real estate accounting firm, a business in town, good-sized business in a small town. And I remember when he started wanting to have a few cows, and he'd have 4 or 5, and then it grew to where he and one of my brothers had 80 to 100 cows. Wasn't their main living, so it wasn't all that stressful. They've acquired some pasture around that area. They still do it. But the connection was we had just enough flavor of ranching, but my dad was a rodeo announcer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
he
so
was.
That's the connection.
So
he did that on the weekends then?
He did, and he had chances. My dad was a good rodeo announcer, old school announcer, pre kind of Bob Tallman, the Bob Tallman, everybody wants to be that.
Yeah, yeah.
And so weekends in Montana, he had a chance to go to the PRCA and go bigger. He had a family, so he didn't do it. We would every weekend in the summer load up the camper or motorhome and away we go. And it was a freaking blast.
So that's what I was going to ask is how did the connection to rodeo come in? And that was it. Basically, as kids, how old were you? Do you remember being on the road like that?
Oh, I remember it in elementary school, junior high, then through high school. It just was what we did. And my dad was very popular. My mom timed rodeos, so they were in the announcer's stand together. Now, I didn't ever see myself doing something that involved rodeo as I got older.
Okay, well, that's what I want to ask you there. As a kid, were you bored at the rodeo? Did something did the livestock get your attention? Like, what did you do to kill time? Were you enthralled with it? You know,
I fucked off.
you fucked off a lot. That's good.
You get into July, and all those rodeos in Montana are at a fair.
Yeah.
So my dad would give me a 20.
So this is all in Montana. You got to do this.
Yeah.
You didn't have to travel more than 6-7 hours.
Right, exactly. And my dad would give me a 20, and I'd go to the fair and play games and ride rides.
That's awesome. I bet that was awesome as a kid, the whole damn summer.
Well, here's the other thing we had. It was the Northern Rodeo Association in Montana, which still is good. And here's all the judges and the contestants had kids my age, so we'd meet. My best friends were out on the road, you know.
Yeah.
So we'd dick around, and then as you get into high school, you're looking for girls, you know. And but I was not much interested in me. I did. Looking back now, I was intrigued with rodeo clowns doing their clown acts, and because I think I had this thing about anonymity, like. They're hidden behind makeup a little bit. I was intrigued with mascots. I don't know if you remember the San Diego chicken, stuff like that, as I look back now.
Yeah.
But I was an athlete.
So what did you play? What did you in sports in school?
Yeah, I was a good football player.
Okay, I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, not very big, but I was fast.
Okay.
Could catch the ball. I was an
now the
all-state
athletic ability part I could very much believe because your performances are extremely athletic. But I wouldn't have pitched. I would have thought something else, but not as football.
Yeah, I was in high school in Montana, football, basketball, track.
Yeah.
Started on the basketball team, and I was a good track guy. I was a jumper and pretty good. I still hold a school record, long jumping. And so those were my things. But I was also.
Well, shit, let's be honest. There's no black people in fucking
No,
Montana.
no.
So the only white motherfucker that got to jump.
That's
Listen,
right.
white man come jump. We all know that bullshit. Don't act like there was any black people in fucking Montana that could not beat your record, you son of a bitch.
I'm trying to think if there was ever. There's been a couple. Yeah, there's been a couple.
I just had to call bullshit on that. You're jumping against a bunch of white fucking dudes in Montana, so let's just be honest about it.
Little
white dudes in Montana.
You're probably right.
I'm just fucking with you, mate. Keep going.
No. You can fuck with me, but you're right.
Every trainer's looking for an edge on their competition. Whether it's a better horse, better way to train it. But really, in reality, all the trainers have got access to great horses. All the trainers are doing a lot of the same techniques. To me, the next greatest edge on competition, whether you're reining, cutting, cow horse, eventing, or racing, is keeping your horses sound and ready for competition. For the last 4 years, I've been sparring my horses by Cold Creek Equine Spa, and I spar them for 20 minutes every day after I ride them at 36 degrees. It ices down all 4 legs. What a game changer. My vet bills have been cut back by 50%. My horse's soundness has been gone through the roof, okay? People think that spas are expensive. It'll pay for itself just on saving on vet bills in the first 18 months. Spas have been around for a long time, but for years they've been junk. They are broken more than they actually work. You needed to be like a plumbing engineer to make the some bitches work. Cold Creek Equine are using the latest technology, industrial strength machines that are basically maintenance free. Anybody can operate this thing. Even me as a horse trainer, I can operate it. And more than anything, it stays working. Go to their website, check them out. It's a game changer. In the next 10 years, if you're a professional horse trainer, if you don't have a spa, you will be left behind on your equine soundness.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael Miola. My wife Michelle and I own and run the fabulous Silver Spurs Equine Breeding Centers located in Purcell, Oklahoma and Scottsdale, Arizona. We specialize in making your equine dreams come true by breeding the finest American quarter horses in the world. Finding that special horse, the one that speaks to your soul, is what Silver Spurs is all about. When you come to our ranch in Purcell, Oklahoma, you will meet that fabulous weanling that once trained, utilizing Clinton Anderson's tried and proven methods, will become an extension of your body, knowing intuitively what you want to do and give you endless hours of adventure and love. Our stallions are the elite. They represent the finest bloodlines in their sport and have won every championship title during their competitive careers. Our breeding program is partially skill, partially science, partially art, definitely a gift from God, but mostly love. So if you share our passion and possess the drive and desire to compete in the show pen or tour the great American landscape with a loyal companion, creating adventures you will treasure for a lifetime, Silver Spurs has the horse you've been dreaming of.
This episode is brought to you in part by Valley Equine, managing stallions that represent the performance horse industry's finest.
The weird combination was I was a singer too. I was
you
in the
shitting
choir.
me? In high school?
Yeah, I was got selected for this all-state choir a couple times.
Yeah, you're a choir singer.
Yeah, and
I never would have guessed that.
Well, my brother
who got
Will.
who got you into that then? You're into track and field, chasing pussy. How the fuck are you in choir? That's fucked up.
Music was in our family. So my
Okay.
brother Will, who's a rodeo announcer, him and my sister played the guitar and sang weddings and funerals, and then I jumped in with them. So music was pushed a little in our family.
On your family, okay.
Yeah. So I was in school plays, school musicals. Loved that. I freaking loved it.
See, this is all making sense now. But
Yeah.
now that you're saying all this shit, now I'm picturing your performances like, this is why this motherfucker was so gifted. He's bringing several talents and themes into this. This is making sense now.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it
So you
is-
enjoyed the singing.
Oh, it's to this day.
Truly.
Music's a big part of my daughters now are very musical.
Okay.
And we sing in the car and sing.
That's awesome.
But if you think about it, I took a whole bunch of shit that I could do. I wasn't great at any of it. But when you throw all those little elements into a rodeo arena, I mean, if you think about the guys who have done my job, been rodeo clowns, there's not many of them could probably say all that.
Not at all. That's what was so
you know.
unique about that. You could bring in fucking rap, you could bring in Michael Jackson, you could bring in all the elements to it. That's what made it so different. To me, you I don't know if it sounds demeaning to use the word act. How would you say? Performance? Would you say act?
whatever.
Performance?
Yeah.
But your performance or act was just so different in my opinion. That's what everybody loved about it. It wasn't the traditional joke. It wasn't the traditional gag that you would normally see in rodeo year after year after year. It was so different. So this is making sense. So in high school, you're singing on the choir, you're doing track.
Yeah.
So where are you? You're finishing high school now?
Yeah. And I was a good student.
Okay.
Got really good grades. My mom will vouch for me. And my one brother who was in trouble once in a while.
Yeah.
Because people instantly come to me. You know, you've watched me in the arena. People think, oh, I'll bet you were wild, in trouble because you're out of control.
Yeah.
And my other brother will say, no, it was me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I was afraid to get in trouble. If I was supposed to be home at midnight, it was quarter to midnight. And Mom and Dad, I'm home. I was that kid, kind of.
Yeah, that's all right.
And
How many siblings you got?
so I have my oldest brother, Will, who is a PRCA announcer. My sister, Linda, my brother, Pete, then me.
Four of
I'm
yous,
the
okay.
youngest of four.
Yeah.
So I was always home alone. My mom says I was a latchkey kid, come home from school and be home alone. And man, I was in my own world. I was creative.
So your imagination was your biggest asset.
Crazy.
You agree?
My imagination. I remember when everybody'd start getting home from practice and from work, and I remember thinking, you're fucking up my story here.
Yeah.
Like I'm in my world.
Yeah.
So that was, my imagination, it was a little town. We had freedom there. It was kind of little town where you get up in the summer and you mow the lawn in the morning or whatever you're supposed to do. And you throw a towel over your neck and ride the 1.5 miles to the swimming pool on your bike. And then you come home and grab a snack and you put your baseball glove on your handlebars and you go to baseball practice.
That's awesome.
It was Mayberry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So let's say this then. So not really a horse rider in high school and riding horses?
I roped a little bit just because my family was in rodeo. I high school rodeoed.
Okay.
I team roped. I bulldogged a little.
Yeah.
Not great, but athletic
But
enough.
never really had the passion for it, I'm getting.
To this day, my girls are roper. I have one daughter that she'd head steers every day.
Yeah.
And the other one, good breakaway roper. But we did some winters in Arizona, and I remember Dad, come on, enter this jackpot. Okay. So I'd rope all afternoon one day and love it and bullshit. Get up the next morning. I could give a rat's ass if I roped.
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
caught it.
Yes.
And I was always a
Never
little...
got the bug.
No, and I was always a little intimidated by horses.
Yep.
I'll say this, if I would have had the tools to learn to rope what they have now, the Helomatics or
Yeah.
the Smarties, where you go your own speed, I think maybe I would have. But it scared me because back then, run a steer in, run that sumbitch down the arena, let's go. And I'm tangled up and I'm worried.
They're not drugging the cows. It's just hauling ass. Yeah.
Yeah. And that scared me.
Yeah.
So, but so high school rodeoed a little, but still not passionate about it. But I went to college.
Okay, you did. What'd you go to college for?
Finished school, went to Western Montana, a small college in Western Montana. Dillon, Montana. I actually got
Now,
in-
who pushed the college thing? Mom and dad, or
it
you
was
wanted
just
to?
understood.
That's just
it
what you
never,
had to do.
Never crossed my mind to not go to college.
And you said your parents were. Well, your mother was a teacher.
Yeah, both my parents, they were college grads.
Yeah.
They very push us to
Get an education.
get an education. And I went, and while I was there, I got involved in some music, some singing. I was involved in athletics a little as the PA announcer, the live arena, introduced the starting lineups, and but did well in college. I graduated in 4 years with a 3.8 GPA. And
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I liked school, and I liked learning, and I liked the atmosphere of school.
I think I get the impression. Tell me if I'm wrong, but you love being around people. You get energy from people. You like interacting
Everything.
with people. Is that right or wrong?
That is exactly right. Because right now, I'm in Fort Worth now. Our PBR
Now,
headquarters.
did you just move there?
I did.
I thought I heard that rumor that the whole family just moved.
Just me.
Just
yeah.
you. When did that happen?
About 3 months
Okay.
from when we're doing
Right.
this. About 3
Okay.
months ago, and our PBR headquarters, are in the stockyards down in it's a big open office, and there's young people my kids' age that work there, and every morning I grab a cup of coffee and I walk around. What are you working on? How was your weekend?
Yeah.
I caught myself, and my ex-wife actually pointed this out. You're doing what you loved about teaching school, because I taught school for a couple of years.
Okay.
Walking around, talking to the kids, ask them what they're working on. That's what I love. That's
awesome.
That's what it's about.
So college was a good time. So tell us what happened after college.
So
How
I,
did you make a living. What's going on?
In college is where I was about 1 year in college, and it was summer, and I was home. And I can't remember the specific, but I'd been to a rodeo with my dad or my brother. And we're sitting middle of the week. It was beautiful. I remember it pretty vividly. And I was basically cussing rodeo clowns.
Oh, truly?
Just saying, not cussing, but saying, they're doing the same shit as when I was 5 years old.
Yes.
I was
Nothing's
about
changed.
19.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
And my dad's like, yeah, you're right. I said, do you got to stick to a tradition? They got a car, or they blow up a hat, and they talk about how fat their girlfriend is,
Yes.
and their mother-in-law is it. I said, I kind of remember saying, I think I could put makeup and find a costume and do just as well without just walking out there.
Yeah. And did somebody
And my
say,
dad said, you should, because I always was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Like
I could believe
I
that.
liked crowds, and my mom always, every
You were
Christmas card.
would you class yourself as the class clown?
I was never voted class clown because I wasn't a misbehavior.
Yes.
But I was a deeper thing. I was always doing this, funny at home. I don't think my friends in school thought I was funny just because I was in a different situation.
Yeah.
But so I did it.
So,
Through
right,
some-
like when you say did it, that fucking day or next week?
2
or what?
weeks. There was 2 weeks. My brother Will said, I'm announcing. Now, keep in mind, we were at little rodeos. You don't call up Cheyenne and
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
hey.
yeah.
But in Montana, our name was trusted.
Yes.
So Superior, Montana, not that superior, tell you the truth. Way Western Montana. They had this little rodeo. They still do. It's a cool little rodeo grounds, great place. And my brother was announcing, and he called him and said, my brother wants to clown some rodeos. He'll come for free. Just, oh yeah, whatever. So I did one. Then I did a college rodeo.
Well, just back up a little bit. Let's talk about this first one here. Because when I say it's important, whether it was a fucking success or failure, it doesn't matter. People want to know. The thing about the podcast, it's called Uncut and Real Raw for a reason.
Yeah.
People love to know not just about the successes, but about the failures, what went wrong. So talk about that very first one. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it embarrassing? I remember, Rodney Carrington sat there in that chair and he said, the first stand-up I did was 10 minutes, and he said, I got 30 seconds of laughter and 9.5 minutes of silence.
Yeah.
He said that was devastating. 30 seconds and then 9.5 minutes of crickets. That was where he got started, and now look at him now. So tell us about your start. Can you walk us through that day a little bit?
I love Rodney, by the way. I have met Rodney.
Yeah.
He reminds me of me. We had some common things.
Yes.
A little bit. It was strange because with all my chatter about why do rodeo clowns do all the same shit, I did the same shit. It's just that I was 19 and good looking instead of 60 and a pot-bellied old rodeo clown.
Yeah.
That was the only difference.
Yeah.
But I used some,
So in the 2 weeks you had to prepare, were you trying to get material together, coming up with an act, coming up with your own jokes? Do you remember putting any time into this to try to make it work?
It's funny.
Or did you just wing it?
I spent more time finding clown makeup and something to wear. What would I look? What would be my look? Mm-hmm. Because I knew I could do Dolly Parton's here. No, it's two bald guys sitting together. You know. And remember, back then, there weren't microphones. It all went from me to the announcer.
You're shitting
to the
me.
crowd forever.
But you mean the clown did not have a mic on him?
For a very long time, because that technology was really just
how
coming
the fuck
around.
is a joke supposed to work when you have to walk somebody through the joke?
That's, I think, part of what built me to be really good, because what you did is I would get way out there and I'd yell, "Man, I saw this girl today." "You saw this girl today?" "Yeah." But it's a big stage. Everything was animated. Everything was motion and how I moved my body. And I never lost that. I see guys now, they have a microphone from day one and they stand there with their thumb in their ass and just talk.
Yeah.
I tell them all the time, it's a big stage.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if we can hear you. We need to see you.
So you were using a lot of animation with your hands, your body, the whole thing.
That's where all of that came from.
Almost like I've watched a lot of and enjoyed them. It's kind of stupid, but I enjoyed watching a lot of the old films that didn't have audio. What do they call them?
Yeah, silent films.
Silent films. Loved them. Loved them because
Charlie
they had
Chaplin.
they had to use their fucking humor and body language to tell a story.
Charlie Chaplin was one of the funniest actors of all time.
Yes.
Never
he
talked.
was. Yes, that's exactly
He never
right.
talked.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that first rodeo, were you embarrassed? Were you nervous?
I was nervous as shit. Okay. I felt like I was getting ready to play a football game. Okay. And I liked that. Mm-hmm. I liked it because it had been a couple of years.
It hyped you up a little bit.
And it came back to me and I felt all right. And I was working with another guy and I do remember climbing the fence and going into the crowd and then going, now what do I do? But the crowd loved it. He's right here. Yeah. I remember him. Oh, and I remember the 18-year-old girls going, oh, okay, here we go.
I love this. It's my new career.
Yeah. And so I'd love to say, boy, I really screwed this up and all that. But here's why I could jump right in. My mom, her saying that she tells everybody is the reason Flint knows so much about production and rodeo is because he grew up on the steps of an announcer's stand. I never watched a rodeo from the stands. I watched it from, all the old rodeo announcer stands. There was a rickety set of steps and I sat on them. And I'd sit and watch everything behind. So I could, from day one, I could watch a bull rider warming up his rope and know how long it was going to be till he nodded his head.
Yeah.
By immersion, by just because I knew I could watch the team roping and know how long it took for the team to ride in the box. So instantly when I was I step out in the rodeo arena and I look down there and I know I got 30 seconds or so to fill here. I never had
that gave you a unique perspective.
Yeah, timing.
So it flowed. Timing's everything. And
Timing.
let's just be honest. Jokes are timing. They're punchlines, but they're timing.
Timing and delivery.
Timing and delivery. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So that's actually makes a lot of sense to me now. You had an edge because you were behind the scenes for all those years. Were you welcomed by the other rodeo clowns that were at that rodeo? Did they say, "Come on, young fella, let's do this together," or was it a bit of a good old boys club and you weren't in it?
That was later.
Okay,
I think.
Righto.
That one, there was one guy, and he'd do some clown acts and fight bulls. Small rodeos, they'd have one guy.
Yeah. That's all they could probably afford.
Yeah, and
One
they
guy.
didn't have to have
Yeah.
two bullfighters,
Yeah.
And one guy that helped me was Lloyd Ketchum, who went on to be he did the NFR like 5 times,
Yeah.
and he helped me with some things and taught me, really kind of the business of it. But later on, when I kind of broke into the PRCA and started getting nominated for some awards, that's when I ran into what's this kid doing?
Yeah, a little bit of
that
good old boys
older,
club.
which is later. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that a little bit. I want to remember that, but I want to stay. My brain has to stay in order of the story. So you get your first one done. Did you, when you walked out of the arena, are you pumped? You fucking
Absolutely.
like this
that.
is my
You're
shit.
doing this.
You're 3 inches as hard as a rock.
Yeah. Because it gave me, I think one thing that kids struggle with, you're a superstar in your little hometown.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you. You played football better than everybody else. And when you go somewhere else, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
So you lose that. And I didn't really struggle with it, but I really missed it. And what I missed was crowds, playing in front of crowds. This scratched the itch again.
Yeah.
I'm out in front of people.
It's funny, Rodney said, because when he said that he had 30 seconds of laughter and 9.5 minutes sucked, I said, what made you fucking go back? Like the next weekend and do it again.
Not 30
he said the
seconds.
30 seconds. He said the 30 seconds was so addictive, next time I tried to get 45 seconds. And the next time I tried to get a minute. And and that's what you're kind of saying, wasn't it? It was addictive.
It is. It's my oldest brother puts it a good way, that people that do performing or things in front of a crowd, even you sitting here doing this, we have this hole right here it's missing something. And the only way to fill it is to go do those things that we do. And when we lose that, that's empty again.
Yeah.
I know he really was bad during COVID. They took every bit of his income away.
Yeah.
But also that reward. I was good during COVID because I was tired. I needed a break.
It's not easy making change. It's not easy raising champions. It's not easy breeding excellence. But the equine industry demands nothing less than the finest. That's when true greatness is born. At Valley Equine, we nurture that greatness every day. We cultivate the next generation of champions, the future icons of the arena. There's a lot of dedication involved, and we've been committed for more than a decade. Through trials and triumphs, we've been there, steadfast in our mission. Today, we are the leader in equine breeding, with specialized expertise in producing tomorrow's champions. We drive the evolution of equine excellence through innovation, empowering breeders to shape the future of the industry. We firmly believe that the world of equine breeding is constantly changing, and that we can too. Advance with us. We are Valley Equine, many years in the making and committed to excellence.
Visit valleyequinerepro.com to learn more.
I've been doing business now at DT Horses for probably almost 10 years now. And one of the things I really appreciate about doing business with them is they're horsemen first. They care about who buys their horses, where their horses go, and ultimately they want the horse to excel at whatever event it has the most natural disposition and talent to do. Sure, they raise world champion cow horses, reining horses, cutting horses, and rope horse futurity horses, but in reality, Dean Tufton is fanatical about letting that horse tell you what event it's going to excel at. Sure, we might buy a cow horse, but it may be suited better for the rope horse futurity prospects, might be suited better for a cutter. You don't often get breeders that are absolutely fanatical about making sure those horses get the best start possible and ultimately excel in the event that they're going to do the best at. They have the most natural talent, disposition, and they enjoy that particular event. Like I said, been doing business with DT horses now for a little over 10 years and absolutely enjoy it. One of the best places I've got to buy my horses.
For information about the athletes available, please contact the DT Horses office at 480-471-4348.
This episode is brought to you in part by Silver Spurs Equine, home of the $1 million challenge. So you get done with that rodeo, you're pumped, everything's psyched. Yeah. So are you thinking, I just found my niche in life?
Not at all. I thought, hey, I could do another one. Well, a month later, I'm at college in the college rodeo. Hey, I'll clown the rodeo. Yeah, all my friends are there. And so I did that. In the meantime, before that, my dad was doing a rodeo over Labor Day. Said, Flint wants to come help clown this rodeo. So I get in the first couple months, I get 3 or 4 under my belt just scattered around because of my family.
Same act, or you're trying to add material? Tell me about the production part of it. Are you looking for jokes? What are you using for inspiration? Change your outfit? Talk about that.
Suddenly I started to go, ooh, little jokes. I can fit a joke in when the bulldoggers who are famously slow. If you ever hear a bulldogger, a steer wrestler, bitching because the barrel racing is slow, kick them in the nuts. Yeah. Because they are slow.
I love it.
So, hey, between steer wrestlers, I need to have some shit.
Yeah.
This is prime timed events.
So in your world, silence is death. Is that right? At a rodeo, is silence death or not? Did I get that wrong?
No, you didn't get it wrong. I never really thought of it that way, because if you think of it that way, then you push. Okay. A lot of rodeo announcers think they're getting paid by the word.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wish some of them would realize that. Because silence is okay depending what the situation.
Fair enough.
But why not? Why not, instead of my dad announcing the rodeo in White Sulphur Springs, Montana, which is real, when they're changing horses, instead of him saying, well, go get a hamburger, and here this guy was number 10 in the standing, why don't I say, something? I started buying little joke books.
Okay, awesome.
And not long books, but one-liners. That little, look at that kid. Even when I told jokes, I'd use them as if it was happening. Later on, people would say something about, oh, you and your jokes, and I'd always say, I don't tell jokes, I do comedy. I think there's a difference.
Explain that a little bit.
And to this day, a lot of rodeo clowns, it's changed a little, but it was, I do did you hear the one about such and such? That's a joke.
Okay, good point.
What's on the inside of a clean nose? Fingerprints. Yeah. Used to use that about. Those are jokes. As my career went, I got away from jokes and did comedy. Never was a great writer, but I could see a moment and make.
Yes, you could make moments turn into comedy.
Completely.
Okay.
Then that's the best.
Ad-libbing it, basically.
That's the best comedy.
Yes, ad-lib. It flows natural.
Completely.
You'd see a lady over there doing something and say, I can make that funny. Correct?
Yes. Find something along the arena that somebody dropped, and you do prop comedy for between 4 calf ropers.
Yeah.
And that is my specialty. Always was my specialty.
Okay. And that's a gift, because you got to think on the fly. Mm-hmm. It's a gift. You can't teach somebody that shit. Some of that came very natural to you to be able to do that.
Very natural from when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
My grandma, my old grandmother, my mom's mom, she'd sit and she smoked those cigarettes that were skinny and brown. And she'd sit in the chair and smoke cigarettes when I was a little kid. My mom tells this story all the time. And I was enthralled with football on TV. To this day, I love football, slow motion football. And I would play football in slow motion. And my grandma would sit there and watch me and smoke cigarettes. And I'd play slow motion football. And my mom said one day, she called my mom into the living room and said, I need to tell you something. This kid ain't right. So that was life to me.
You just had a great imagination. I love
Yeah.
it. So after those 4 or 5 rodeos, what are you thinking now? I can make a living? You're
Well,
bored?
I wasn't really sure. I thought, I kind of like this. Well, then this stock contractor who had the college rodeo that I did, I'd known my family, and he said, I want to talk to you about something. Okay. He put on rodeos, probably 12, 15 rodeos around Montana in the summer. And he said, next summer, I want you to work all my rodeos. When you're 19, 20 years old, can you imagine a better freaking summer job than going to every little rodeo in Montana? And every one of them you go to, they're like, this is the biggest fucking party you'll ever see. Oh yeah, that's what they said last week. I mean, it was great.
Put yourself in that position.
Yeah.
You're the man. You're like the lead singer in a band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So all of a sudden I went, hey, this could be a great summer gig. He didn't.
And they're paying you?
Yeah, he paid me not very much. I remember the first summer he paid me $75 a performance.
Oh yeah. How long was the performance?
Well, it was per day.
Yeah.
So like a 3-day rodeo,
Yeah.
I got $225.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, shit, man.
Yeah.
Never another poor day.
Yeah.
Had my mom's car and her credit card. Shit.
You were loaded.
Set.
And I bet
Loaded.
there was some interest in the girls every damn rodeo. You were the man a little bit of what? How
I
you doing there?
guess. Yeah, I was a little naive to that, honestly.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
If you could go back today.
Yeah, dang it. So it turned into my summer job in college. And really, that's kind of all it was to me. I never pictured going to big rodeos. I never pictured going to the NFR. None of it.
Was the family supportive,
Oh,
Flint?
yeah.
They were like, this is cool. Like they weren't knocking it. They were
No.
like, hey, good on you, keep doing
They
it.
knew I could be good at
Yeah,
it. Just because of my mannerisms and my comedic kind of the way my brain worked. But that was a benefit to me that I did not have goals with it. And I'll explain. I see guys come into this world say, I'm going to start clowning rodeos or I'm going to announce rodeos. And they do a year or two of some amateur rodeos and they go, here I am. I'm ready. I'm going to go to Salinas and I'm going to go whatever. And they're not. They haven't perfected the craft. In those 5 or 6 years, it was my summer job when I was teaching school. The first, I taught school a couple of years.
So once you got out of college, you taught school.
I got a teaching job, teaching and coaching. The kids I taught knew what I did.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I was perfecting this craft to where all of a sudden, 5, 6 years later, I matured a little, I grew up a little, I perfected what I was doing, the way I dressed, the kind of starting to develop a character and a niche of what my style was and what I could do. Music was starting to come into play at rodeo. All this music director stuff and mixing. That in the world, it's fairly new.
Yeah, you're paying your dues. There's a great author I love to listen to his book called Malcolm Gladwell, and I think the book, I could get this part wrong, is called Outliers. And he studied what made people really successful, like the Beatles and Wayne Gretzky and say Bill Gates, and there's 15 people in the book that he studied of why people are the best in the world at what they did. And here's the one common denominator out of everybody that was the same: 10,000 hours. The Beatles played in Germany for many years to perfect their skills. People think of the Beatles as just coming out and being famous. They, all through high school, early their life, they played in little pubs, little bars, little shitholes for many years. But the one common thing is they did 10,000 hours before they perfected their craft.
Right.
And that's really what you're saying there, is that you're saying these kids come
Absolutely.
out and say, hey, I've been announcing for a year, I'm ready for the big time. No, you're fucking not.
No.
You haven't put in the practice, you haven't honed your skills. And so that's really what you were doing, correct? Those 4 or 5 years.
and
Was it 4 or 5 or 8? How many?
Yeah, about 5-6 years.
Yep.
And then, my friend Lloyd Ketchum came to me and said, there's guys making 75 grand a year doing this rodeo clown thing, which then I was making 22 teaching school.
Yeah.
And so then I went, what? Yeah. And one rodeo, he said, let's work on getting your PRCA card. That's a big, got to go through the rigmarole. Or do you think you're ready? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
One rodeo, I kind of knew, he knew him and I knew him. They came to me, Red Lodge, Montana. It's a really good rodeo. Mm-hmm. They have a 4th of July PRCA rodeo. And they got a hold of me and said, if you go through the process to get your PRCA card, we'll hire you for our rodeo. Okay, so I got to make a decision here. If I'm going to do this, so I resigned from teaching. I didn't.
Well,
I didn't
you
quit.
single still at this point?
That was the thing. I was single. I didn't own anything.
fucking
I didn't
awesome.
have any debt. It was just me.
Yes.
Just me.
That was an important move. Yes, because it gave you the ability to go where the money was, go where the work was. Mm-hmm. That's what I tell young people today. I tell kids now, if you can't pack your life up in 6 hours and take another job, you got too much shit. If you can't pack your fucking life up in 6 hours and get in a truck and go to the next job opportunity, you got too much shit. You got dogs and horses and fucking kids and marriage. You're too much baggage.
Yeah.
You can't go where the money is. 20 to 30 is the decade to hone your skills, decade to build your career, decade to get your shit together.
Yeah.
But how many people have said, I would have taken that job, but I'm married and I can't move, or I got 2 kids by now, or I've got 15 fucking horses. That is an important part. And I tell them, if you can't pack your life up in 6 hours, you got too much shit.
I'm going to tell my girls that.
Do you agree or disagree with me?
Yeah, my girls are 25 and 23.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how they are.
Yeah.
I had one daughter just spent a year in Boston.
Yeah.
Moved out there, spent a year, came back to Montana.
Nobody ever makes good money or builds their career where they live. You have to go. You have to live. I went from Australia to America. Every time I moved in America, I made more money. Every time I relocated, I made more money. Very few people get to make a good living where they grew up or where they lived.
True.
You must go where the opportunities go. But when you're married and got children and mortgages and shit, you can't go anymore, or it's harder. How about we say that? Yeah. So that's why I always tell them, 20 to 30, keep your baggage as minimal as possible. After 30, get married, knock out 15 fucking kids. I don't give a shit. Because at 30, you've got a lot more sensibility than 20.
Right.
You're still pretty green, but you're not as green as 20. You know what I mean? There's 2 decades you're going to grow the most, 10 to 20 and 20 to 30. After 30, you got a little bit of an idea of what's going on, but that's a big part. I'm glad you said that. You could just go.
And I got married at 27, but she was all in and a school teacher and
Did you already make the decision to rodeo at that point?
I was well into Yeah. I was rolling. That's where, in 1994
How old would you have been?
In 94, I was 25,
6?
5.
Yep.
25, 26.
Yep.
And, that's where a lot of people say, remind me when you were talking about the Beatles. Mm-hmm. I popped into the PRCA and instantly kind of got some rodeos. Not all of a sudden, but people all of a sudden knew who I was. Man, this kid came out of nowhere. Well, not my world.
No, you already.
I've been doing this shit already. Yes. And so that's what, when you said about the Beatles, wow, they came out of nowhere. No, their nowhere had a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
And that was me too.
And a lot of grind, a lot of boring shit, a lot of grind, a lot of stuff that's not fun.
Yeah, a lot of long drives and shitty rodeos. I remember the first year I was doing PRCA rodeos, I really considered quitting.
Truly.
Because
tell me and the audience, what are things about that lifestyle that we would not know as a grind?
Well,
because we see the lights, camera, action, looks cool, You know, the girls want you, fucking money's coming in. Tell us the part of your career that would have been a grind.
Early on, gathering rodeos, PRCA rodeos to do, and some of them just weren't that good.
Mm-hmm. Meaning not many people showed up?
And not every rodeo is the Calgary Stampede. Mm-hmm. Which we've learned from the Cowboy Channel when they plug into a screen and put it on TV and we go, this rodeo's shitty. Yeah, there's a lot of them, you know? I think the travel early on, you can't go, you're not in a situation to say, I'm in the Northwest the end of August. I'm going to go from Canby to Kennewick to Ellensburg to Lewiston to Pendleton. No drive over 3 hours. This shit's awesome. That's what people see. They don't see early on, I thought of this today, when one weekend you're in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and the next weekend you're in Santa Maria, California.
Yeah.
Nobody sees that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's hard. The travel's hard. A lot of guys...
Were you driving a car? How were you getting around back in those days?
By the time I was rodeoing, I at one time had to pick up with a overcab camper and
that's
pull
what
the
Rodney
trailer.
Carrington had, yeah.
Yeah, and I have a...
What are they called? Capri or something? What are they called?
I never had a Capri,
okay.
but it was similar.
Okay, fair enough.
And I still to this day have a 12-foot enclosed cargo trailer. It's parked at my folks' house, loaded with shit, with clown shit. All my acts I did, all of it.
So you're driving yourself.
I was lucky though, because my wife, I had a young wife. We loved going together. So,
but you must have done 2 or 3 years by your single though. You must have done 2 or 3 years. Did you meet your wife on the road? How'd you meet her?
A little bit. I had met her early on in my career. She was from up where I ended up teaching school. Lost touch with her for a few years. And kind of got reacquainted, and then she moved back up there. It worked quite well. It went smooth. I had a very supportive wife. She ran our business. You know, when we had kids, the moment we had kids, she stayed home. But it's just a lot of times where sometimes you don't feel like you have a tethering point.
Well, because you're not home, are you?
Not really.
Like once you start, back in those days, when you decided to do this full time and you're driving to rodeo, is this year round or only in the summer? Tell me, I don't mean to be ignorant, but tell me how this really works.
Because a lot of people don't know. Yeah. It used to be that if you were working in the winter in the rodeo business, that was a bonus.
Okay.
And I was lucky. I got Rapid City and Denver and went to Tucson. And so I had a few of those. And then later on, in about 96, 97, I had some ins in the beginning of good production in the PBR, so I could fill in winter weekends with PBR stuff. But I remember leaving home in the spring, the first week of April, and being gone through Memorial Day, the end of May. And never being home.
That's got to be hard on a marriage, Flint.
It was.
It's got to be hard on kids. It's got to be hard on a marriage. I always say, I've been married twice, and I always stand up for my ex-wives in this regard. I always say, women don't want to be married to a man they never see. And I was gone a lot. In their defense, they have a right to be a little bit pissed. But they knew what they got when they fucking signed up too. But I was gone.
I don't know that they did. No. What they got with you when they signed
up. I'm not sure. That's a fair statement. That's really a fair statement.
Hold on.
Let's have another drink and let's rethink that.
Well, luckily my wife went with me, and as we progressed and made more money, I made sure we spent some of that money on what we traveled in. And then we had Shelby, and then we had Paige, so our kids were little. So we bought motorhomes. And my kids slept in their own bed every night in that motorhome. So I'll also say this, something I was very lucky to do in my career. Once I got to where I was doing okay, I kind of rodeoed where I wanted to rodeo. In my rodeo career, I won't count PBR, professional rodeo, regular season PRCA rodeos. You know how many rodeos I worked in Texas? 1.
Okay.
Early on, 1996, huge break for me. Leon Coffey had a conflict, and Mike Servey called me and asked me to go to San Angelo, Texas. in the middle of the winter, and my wife and I loaded up and drove to San Angelo.
Why
Texas.
was that a big deal? I don't mean to be ignorant, but why doing a rodeo in Texas was a big deal to you?
Well, to me, I was a little intimidated by it. Texas is full of rodeos, and everybody you talk to, like in Montana, you go to Mesquite, you go to Houston, that's... To people in Montana growing up, they thought
that was big time.
In order to have relevance, I'll bet you go to Texas a lot, huh?
Yeah.
You
were considered amateur until you went to
Texas, and I didn't want to.
Breaking Bad is by the hottest stallion in the industry out of a great mare, Sweet Abra. He is athletic, extremely cowy, and was easy to train. He's a 3-time major events open champion with lifetime earnings of $181,000 and counting. He is subscribed to all the major NCHA and NRCHA programs and is in the Legacy Bonus Program with an estimated payout of $1 million at this year's NCHA Futurity. His 2025 breeding fee is $4,500 plus shoot fee. Breaking Bad is owned by Fultz Ranch, the previous owners of Metallic Cat and Stevie Ray Vaughan, the same people that made those two stallions household legendary names in the cutting and cow horse industries. Mention the Uncut and Real Raw podcast for free apparel with a paid contract.
Their hearts thunder for us. Their flesh and bone pushed to lift us higher, carry us faster, and stop on a dime. And when they've had a great ride, they deserve a great recovery. They deserve a Cold Creek. Cold Creek Spas offer state-of-the-art 35-degree aerated saltwater therapy, proven to reduce injury, speed recovery, and keep them at peak performance. Cold Creek Therapeutic Spas. This water is for winners.
This episode is brought to you in part by DT Horses, the elite Western performance breeder for cutting, cow horse, and rope horse futurity prospects. Righto, mate, we're back from the break, and I wanted to talk a little bit about money, okay? Especially in the beginning years. You know, you're just getting started. I don't mean to be ignorant, but I'll just ask the questions. You're your own agent, correct? You're negotiating your own deals. Are they paying you per day, per rodeo, per hour? How's that industry work?
The general way the industry works, and it's been a tradition forever, and you hear people say it, how much you get in a perf? That's the big rodeo lingo.
Perf.
A performance,
Okay.
a rodeo, yeah. So if it's a 4-day rodeo, there's a general knowledge, and you're supposed to have the knowledge of what certain rodeos pay or what the general thing was. When I started, the guys that were really good were getting $500 a perf. And I'd be, are you shitting me?
That seemed like a lot of money back then.
Yeah, it absolutely was
Yes.
to me. And the older guys, they'll check on you. I remember being at the convention in Vegas where people come and rodeo committees coming around, and I had got a call. John Growney from out in California said that these rodeos in California want you, and I was pretty new. It was about 97, 98. And Clovis and Red Bluff and Logandale, Nevada. You know, he had all these rodeos. And a guy stopped me, one of the old rodeo clowns. I pissed him off because he said, I hear you're bidding all these rodeos in California. And I didn't know any different. I said, I'm not bidding anything. They just really want me to come. Mm-hmm. And it pissed him off.
Was he mad because you were getting more money?
He was making sure I was getting enough money. And he said, well, I'm just making sure you're bidding them right and keeping the price up.
Okay, he didn't want you underbidding everybody else. Okay, I'm with you now. That's making sense.
So they really check on you, and you're supposed to, the unwritten rule of rodeo is if you're the clown at that rodeo and they decide to change and they call me, I'm supposed to call you. Okay. Hey, do you know they called me? Oh, yeah, that's okay. Well, what are you getting there?
Okay.
There's this communication.
So there's a little bit of a clown union going on.
There's a little bit of a mafia going
okay.
on. The announcers, I call it the announcer mafia. But it is. And I used to say, as I got better, I had trouble asking for money. I had trouble seeing the value in what I was doing. In what I was doing, I was dancing, I was doing walking and talk comedy, and there was guys doing big acts. A friend of mine, Troy Lurwell, used to jump his motorcycle over his trailer hooked to his pickup, and I thought he should get more because he could break his leg. And
Yeah,
he
it's
could,
dangerous.
yeah. Where looking back now,
Yeah.
I was bringing as much entertainment value, which has a value to it. Thus the word value. So it was hard for me.
So you're negotiating your own deals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your wife's traveling with you. She's got 2 young kids, but you're doing your own deals. Are these yearly contracts you're signing, or just strictly per event type?
They're
contract work per event.
A lot of great rodeos. Rodeos kind of go back and forth on, we like to have rodeo clowns for 3 years, 2-3 years, and then we switch. I started running into rodeos that didn't. I just stayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it changed up. I didn't do the same thing every year. I didn't, So
let me ask you this then. So $500 a day back in those days, you were probably close to 27, 28 years old at that time, and you're trying to work every weekend. You're working
I would have worked. I would have worked every weekend if it would have been in front of me.
Yes.
I worked every single weekend from the middle of May till the middle of September.
Yeah, you've got to.
Every
It's like
weekend.
farming. You got to go when it's going.
Yeah, I remember the first time in July that I made $10,000 in a month. Think back. How old are you?
49.
Oh, God, you're a punk. Think back to that first time.
Oh, yeah.
You made $10,000 in a month.
Yeah.
And I remember that. And I went, okay, now we can start looking at a house. Now we can try to buy a place. Now, because
How are you surviving the winters then? If you're young and getting started and you're not, popular year round, what are you doing for money in the winter?
well, before our kids were born, I sold cars for a bit at a Chevy dealership. Rodeo guy, Carl Tyler, up in Missoula, Montana. Sold cars. My wife was teaching school. So
okay, so she had a steady income.
Really smart lady, hard worker.
Yep.
So there was some money, and then I started picking off little things in the winter early on. Like I said, a guy named Jerome Robinson, the late Jerome Robinson, and a friend of mine, David Allen. They were in on producing some of the early PBR events, and I fit what they were doing and slid me in. So pick up a check here, a check there. You got my wife's school teaching. I go sell a car too.
So you're piecemealing it together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
came out of nowhere.
but the
Everything
reason-
handed to him.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You're exactly fucking right. That's why I'm bringing this up, because everybody sees the end of your career. They don't see the start. And then I love the start of people's careers more than the ends. The start's where the
absolutely.
struggle is. The start's where the grind is. The
Yeah.
start's where, shit gets real and it's not fucking glamorous at all. Okay. So in those years, 27, 28, 30, you're getting more popular. What are you doing for inspiration to change up your act? Like, are you doing the same act every rodeo and then saying, okay, I'm going to change it up once a year, or you try to change it up, or maybe it was changed because you were improvising everything.
Yeah.
Because you were improvising, maybe it was different every one.
It was a snowball. It was an evolution as I went, even week to week.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. I brought it up earlier. As the use of popular and upbeat music became more and more prevalent to what rodeos were, that played right into what my talents
Yes,
were.
because you were high energy.
I was high energy, and I knew good music, and I always was a really good dancer.
Where'd you get that from?
I don't. My mom says the Rasmussen men are great dancers. That's always was a dancer. I'll tell you. I remember I
like
was
traditional two-stepping? Your mother sent you
not
to
really
classes?
pop stuff. I'll tell
Yeah.
you. I was in 8th grade, whatever age that is, 14.
13, yeah.
When there's a famous clip, it's on YouTube, of Michael Jackson performing Billie Jean at the 25th anniversary of Motown, and he moonwalked across the stage. And I went to the music room the next day. It had a slick concrete floor, and I started teaching myself how to moonwalk.
Yeah.
And I was enthralled with
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Which played through to the last day of my career.
It did. It was very cool what you did
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
Dancing was a big part of me. And, a lot of people looked and said, oh, this Flint, he just dances, and now we'll have all the clowns dancing. I just did it because when I hear a good song, to this day,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
I was a freaking good dancer.
Yeah, yeah, and you enjoyed it.
It brought me joy.
But
Yeah.
but that was so different from traditional clown guys.
Oh, yeah.
Those clown guys wouldn't have danced in a million fucking years. You know, they would have thought that was the gayest shit in the world to be dancing.
I
to
was
Michael
called
Jackson.
that,
You know, dancing to Michael Jackson. Let's talk about that. Because your style was so different, and in some ways, did some people call it confrontational or just offensive to the other rodeo clowns because you were just out of that genre so much? As you got better, did rodeo clowns kind of shit on you? Did they say, man, did they congratulate you and say, man, that was cool, man, I love what you're doing? What was the behind the gates like in your industry for what you were doing? I don't know if I'm asking this right.
I know exactly what you're saying. It was mixed. Of course, to my face, not much, but there were certain guys like the famous Liesl Harris, who passed away a few years ago, probably the greatest classic old rodeo clown ever. He and I always got along. And you know why? Because his comedy was really smart. And he knew what I was doing. I remember he came up to me in Las Vegas and he said, hey, kid, I know what you're doing. He said, I see it. Keep doing it.
That's
doing
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I bet that pumped you up.
That's the only guy.
How old were you then?
I was 30-ish.
Yeah.
And
was he kind of like an idol, mentor, idol for you? Somebody you really look up to?
Not as much as some guys.
Okay.
I never really got to see him work, but we all knew him.
Yeah.
You know, big, tall, lanky Liesl. He was so funny.
But it was a good feather in your cap to get that compliment.
He was an ally.
That's
of mine.
friggin' awesome.
But the biggest thing I got was he doesn't really do anything. He's just out there dancing and walking and doesn't have any big acts. Because remember, all the rodeo clowns had a car, and I didn't have that shit.
Yeah.
I shouldn't call it shit.
Yeah, but no, I see
I
what
had
you're
a
saying.
different way.
Yes.
I used my talents. I exploited my talents to make it an act. And I'll tell you who I learned that from. Rodeo people would know. A rodeo clown named Butch Lemcooler. And Butch had one act. And he took what his talents were and used it. And he taught me that. And he did a trampoline act. And where the guy it's a great premise of rodeo acts. The guy that was supposed to be here isn't going to show up. So I'll step in and do it. The old premise that I used a little bit. And it was this guy, and he's going to do this trampoline exhibition. And Butch does this whole thing, how he can't even get up on the trampoline. His head would go on the springs. And anyway, bam, bam, bam. When it finally gets to the end, the sell is he was on his college diving team. And he did shit on that trampoline, backflips and twists, and then would backflip and land in the arena, sells the act.
Yeah.
That was his talent that nobody knew he had.
Yeah.
So it was a surprise, what we call a surprise and delight kind of a thing. So that's what I did. I could really dance. I could sing. I did a clown act that I sung, all that. So that's what I was starting to develop.
Yeah.
What can I do? What can I do here?
So as you got more popular, I'm getting the impression there's only so many weekends in a year, and time's money. How did you start increasing the money that you were asking for? Was it based on supply and demand? Did somebody get in your ear and say, "Hey, Flint, you're really fucking undervaluing yourself"? How did the money change a little bit over the years?
Yeah, there's a little bit of all of that. People in my ear, rodeos saying, "Hey, we'd like you to do 3 years. What are we paying you now?" And a lot of them would do it. Okay, we'll do this the first year, this the second year.
Yeah.
So it kind of was taking care of itself a little bit.
Okay.
Then what was cool,
agents are unheard of in this world. Like you don't have like a sports athlete has an agent. That's not in your world of rodeo. Is that a thing or not?
Not as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Not to put rodeo contracts together.
Yeah.
Like there are agents in rodeo, but they're more brokers. The agents would negotiate contracts. Well, we're not going to do that because we don't want to give up that money because they're not millions of dollars.
Yeah.
What a lot of agents, and I never had one, and maybe I left money on the table. Probably at the peak of my career, I probably did, but I never wanted an agent.
Yeah.
They more negotiate, hey, Wrangler, I have Flint here, and I think he's worth this. Those kind of endorsement deals.
Yeah.
Never had it. I'd probably, I think I left money on the table. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, I think I did things very right.
Very much so. Yeah, very much
as
so.
far as relationships. And,
So basically, the money kind of grew as they started putting more contracts together. Did the contracts make you nervous to be locked in for 3 years, or you liked that guaranteed income?
there
Did it
was
make
a
you feel
couple
more secure?
there was a couple that made me nervous, but when it's Ellensburg, Washington, and the Pendleton Roundup and Cheyenne Frontier Days and Calgary Stampede, where else would be better on that week?
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the place.
So once your kids get to a certain age, your wife's teaching school, you're on the road by yourself, basically.
well,
You're traveling in a camper, you're by yourself.
my wife quit teaching as soon as we had a kid.
Okay.
So here's what happened. It got to be where, and I can't believe it's been that long ago. My oldest daughter, was getting to be 6 years old, starting school. And so we had traveled together all these years in a motorhome. She's got to start school, and she's ready to go to school. So I go a year. It was tough. I mean, we were still together, but that's where the PBR steps into this story.
Okay, right.
I had been doing PBRs. I did both. I had 8 years.
So let me ask you a question about PBR though. When you did your first PBR event, was it a completely different act, or you could still be the same Flint?
That was the days when really PBRs they had good production, but nothing like now.
Yeah.
It was run like a rodeo. It just had bull riding.
Yeah, that's the only
Great openings. And so my material and my style fit the PBR. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really have to change anything.
Okay, that's right.
I mean, the steer wrestling material wasn't worth a shit.
Yeah.
PBR,
yeah.
But they had Randy Bernard, who was the boss then, that previous winter had come to me and said, I want you to do exclusive with PBR. People want to see you. They got to come to a PBR. And I said, are you shitting me? I've done the NFR 7 times in a row by now.
Yeah.
I'm
Back up just 1 second.
Yeah.
Your first NFR, did you think that's when I've really made it? Like, talk to me about that.
1998.
You remember it. Do you remember getting the call to go do it? Tell us a little bit about that.
So it's a vote.
Oh, it's a vote. Okay.
The bull riders select the bullfighters and the Barrelman. And 98.
And is Barrelman an interchangeable word for clown?
Yeah,
Barrelman?
you're at the NFR. You're basically the Barrelman because you don't do a lot of comedy. It's more you get voted to this position, sit in the barrel.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
but
do
the
what?
Barrelman. Yeah.
Stay alive. Tell a couple of jokes.
It's more you're going to get paid. Here's a very nice buckle. You earned the right to be
Fair
in the
enough.
barrel at the end.
Okay, fair enough.
98. I had heard at that time they would announce the top two. They'd have one vote, then another vote. They announced the top 2 vote getters. And I was shocked because I had the previous year said, I'll never get the NFR. That's a different league. I still didn't have that confidence. And I remember my wife saying, I think you're wrong. You're starting to pick up steam. So the year rolls around and I had a really good year. It's when I went out to California. I ended the year.
Are you busy 52 weekends a year?
No, not maybe 28.
Okay, fair enough.
But I ended the year at some really good rodeos. The Pendleton Roundup was that last part of the year. So they have the first vote. And I get a call. Hey, you're in the top 2 vote getters. Me and who? Leon Coffey. Famous, had done the NFR. I mean, like, well, at least I was in. I'll be the alternate.
Yeah.
So I knew when the vote was. And I remember that day. And
How old would you have been?
I was 30.
Okay.
I was exactly 30. 98, my wife was very pregnant with Shelby, my first. And I knew the vote was happening. And I started to get a little, could I really?
Yeah.
I get a call that day. Hello? I didn't. Did we? Yeah, kind of had cell phone. I mean,
bag phone.
Yeah,
52 pounds.
Hello.
Let me stand on the roof of my car.
And, the PR. This is such and such from the PRCA. Oh, hi. Well, congratulations. And I just shit myself.
That's awesome.
Well, I was in town.
Oh, you even remember where you were?
And I went into my dad's office. And I said, I got the NFR. And my dad kind of teared up a little. Well, let's go. And we walked down the street to the Legion Bar, the Legion Club.
What time of day was this?
It was about 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my dad walked in. By God, we're having a drink. Flint got the NFR. And, and everybody's
That's
like,
fucking
whatever. And I was amazed. My wife came, it was a big deal for my family.
Yeah.
And
big deal for your career.
And I treated it like I'd never get to do it again.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So you don't get to negotiate the money. They just say, this is what
it's
we're
just
paying
that,
you.
yeah.
By the sounds of it, you would have done some bitch for free. It was that much prestige and that much honor to do it. You would have fucking done it for free.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It was so great. And, yeah, it paid for then. I think it probably still pays the fucking same now.
Yeah.
It was,
yeah.
Hey, that was a big deal because then I go to the NFR. They send your contract and you get a buckle and a coat. And I get a freaking NFR coat.
That's awesome. Yeah.
The leather sleeves.
Puffing your chest out.
Put my name on that sumbitch, And, well, then I get word, hey, a little later, you're nominated in the top 5 for PRCA Clown of the Year. Oh, wow. Hey, you're nominated in the top 5 for Coors Man in the Can. That's when you get the gold buck.
Oh.
So I go to the awards, the personnel awards banquet in Las Vegas the night before the NFR starts, and I get presented my NFR buckle. I win Clown of the Year, and I win Coors Man in the Can.
That's awesome. All in the same year, going to the NFR for the first time.
First time.
Huh.
And then I start looking going, hold on. The NFR pays like 10 grand. Coors Man in the Can pays you 10 grand. Holy shit. What do we do with $20,000?
Yeah,
It was a big deal for more reasons than the instant glory. Then this goes back to what we were just talking about with money. I'm the Coors Man in the Can, the NFR Barrelman, and the Clown of the Year. My price just went up.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, was the experience at the first NFR what you hoped it was going to be? And the reason I ask that is I love when Fred Whitfield came on here and he told about the first time he made the NFR, and he said basically somewhat sucked as far as it was lights, camera, action. It was overwhelming. It was a young man's dream. And looking back on it, he made a lot of changes, but he said it was just such an overwhelming, positive experience that at his age, you couldn't quite gather it all up. Was it the experience that you wanted to have, or was it disappointing, or was it better than what you thought it was going to be?
Well, for one, like I said, and it changed through the years, actually. Mm-hmm. I didn't perform at all. I was out in the barrel and I'd walk it in. And so it was 15 minutes of being in the arena. Now, I got asked at my Rodeo Hall of Fame induction in Oklahoma City a couple weeks. Mm. We had a panel discussion. They said, what's the most memorable moment of your career? I remember exactly what it was. All the things I've done. In 1998, the first performance at Thomas & Mack at the NFR, it's a little tiny tunnel, and you got to stay in your locker room until the barrel racing, and then you go get your barrel ready, and walking down that tunnel and that light coming up that tunnel and the energy and the noise, and I started sweating. And the NFR was just what we saw on TV at our house in Choteau, Montana. Yeah. That's all. That's how far away it was for me. And rolling my barrel out, and my parents were sitting right over my right shoulder, and the people with the Montana flags, and overwhelming.
That's
But I didn't have to do that much, but I was so nervous.
That's awesome.
Scared to death.
Still to this day, I remember the first, obviously being a spectator, the first NFR I ever went to, it was the most electrifying live public event I've ever been to, still to this day. I've been to a lot of concerts. It's just something electrifying about that 2 hours just comes and goes, or what is it, an hour and a half, 2 hours? What is it?
It's about 2 hours from
It's just so electrifying. Still to this day, if somebody has not been to the NFR, they need to do it. It is nothing, I've had nothing compared to the energy, and I could only imagine what competitors feel, or you felt down there.
And in the rodeo world, in the cowboy world, It's the only rodeo all year that they're all in with that place on that
Yeah,
on a night.
Yeah.
Rodeo, you never know. You know, that's with PBR. We do the PBR World Finals. Some of the great sporting moments of my career were at the PBR World Finals, but it had to do with competition and the battle to the end. But the difference between the NFR and like the PBR World Finals is we do 25 events where those guys, it's a tour, and it culminates with the World Finals, but it's not the only place we see them all year.
Yeah.
Where rodeo, that's it. And Las Vegas, hell, everybody who's never seen an elevator comes to Vegas. Like Bill and Mabel from North Dakota, the elevator opens. Is this our floor? Yeah, there's a fucking number right there. By about day 7, when I've been there already, and there's 3 phases of people that come to the NFR.
Tell us about
there's
this.
There's the people that go, we always go the first 3 days. Oh, every year. Oh, really? Yeah, first 3 days are the best. Everybody's fresh. You get to see first 3 rounds. Then about Monday, they all switch, and a new batch of people come in. Well, we've already been there. So you ready to go tonight? Yeah, whatever. So then they leave. Then that last phase, we always go the last weekend. It's wild the last weekend. So they roll in on about Wednesday. Hey, Flint, goddamn, we just got to town. You going to come and have drinks with us? Fuck you. I've been here 10 days.
I'm exhausted.
Like, I am tired. No.
Yeah.
Great to see. Hey, I'll see if I can run in. Yeah, it's this phase.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. So that's funny. That's exactly how it goes.
No,
isn't
it's
it?
exactly right.
Yeah. Silver Spurs Equine owns and stands over 30 champion performance horse stallions. They strive to provide options to top prospects for every preference and budget. Reining is the main focus of Silver Spurs breeding program, and they have developed their $1 Million Challenge as an incredible incentive that offers huge payouts to the champions of 7 different reining competitions around the world. Silver Spurs also raises about 150 foals per year at their ranch in Oklahoma, and each one is offered to the public for sale. This provides a wide variety of options to buyers looking for their next prospect, and most would be eligible for the $1 Million Challenge. Find the perfect cross of traditional performance horse bloodlines combined with the modern dynamics of today's performance horses. All available prospects can be found at silverspurssalehorses.com.
Ever wanted to own a champion? Clinton Anderson, world-class horse trainer and competitor, has been spotting and developing promising horses into greatness for decades. Now, he is offering an exclusive ownership opportunity to create champion horses. Introducing Clinton Anderson's Performance Partnership. In this exclusive program, you and Clinton will co-own a top-tier performance horse that will be meticulously trained and cared for by Clinton Anderson himself. This isn't just an investment, it's a first-hand experience of horsemanship excellence. With Clinton's help and advice, you'll choose the horse that resonates with your ambitions, and Clinton takes the reins from there. From training to stabling, from the practice arena to the winner's circle, Clinton's unwavering dedication ensures that your equine athlete reaches its full potential. This partnership is about more than business. It's about a shared passion for equestrian excellence. And Clinton Anderson isn't just your trainer, he's your partner, fully invested in every horse's success. Together, you'll share in the excitement, the prestige, and the profits. Membership is strictly limited to ensure each investor receives personalized attention and commitment. It's your chance to be part of an exclusive equine ownership community that combines the excitement of competition with the satisfaction of success. Don't miss your opportunity to join Clinton Anderson's Performance Partnership, a unique collaboration that transforms dreams into equine champions. Experience the heart of horsemanship excellence. Find out more at ClintonAndersonPerformanceHorses.com.
This episode is brought to you in part by Breaking Bad, the hottest new NCHA futurity sire. So once you get the NFR, it's a big career boost for you, etc. How does PBR fit into this career about now? You're about 30. Is PBR very popular by this stage? Is it taking off? I'm just kind of building up to the switch of how you go from rodeo to PBR. Where's PBR in this journey at 30 years old? Are they a small event, big event?
It was a good part of my career, but I didn't consider it a real significant part of my career, and I didn't consider it real separate, because in the winter I would fit in 2 or 3 PBRs and then go to Tucson to the rodeo. So I was just back and forth. There was 8 years that I did both the NFR and the PBR finals in the same year. So I was doing well, like as far as big
Did you
events.
think PBR would ever get as big as it did? In the beginning, did you see the potential there, or you were like, this is a cool gig, but it's never going to be NFR? Like, NFR obviously dominated.
Well, I never ever thought PBR would be like the NFR, because the NFR is so unique. And we know that. We we're NFR fans in the PBR. So, and I could see the real surge. If you think about it, we went a lot of years with the PBR where that was kind of where you could see an exclusive bull riding event. We have had to evolve in the PBR because now there's some little Podic bull riding association in every county.
Oh, truly.
You can go see a exclusive bull riding event wherever you want.
Okay.
Hey, come watch this Bull-a-rama. Come watch Bulls Night Out. Bull, all of. So we've had to really work to stay ahead of the curve a little bit. We got to present something a little different, and it's been hard. I can't say if I thought it would be that big. I didn't know that I'd ever see a day we paid a world champion $1 million.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm saying. Did you envision that, or that really snuck up on you?
Not really. And that, we're working on getting that up.
Yeah.
But there's not like a money bush.
Yeah.
Where you just go, people think there is.
Yeah.
But listen, we got bull riders in the PBR before the million makes $700,000. Hell, rodeo pays $30,000 a round to win at the NFR, so they're making money. There's money out there.
Yeah. So let's change it a little bit. Is your career's going well. When are you getting booked the majority of the 52 weekends a year? At what age do you feel like you're on the road as much as you want to be on the road, and what are you making per rodeo at that time of your career?
In the early 2000s is when that $1,000 a performance thing started kicking in. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
02, 03.
And most weekends you would do 3 performances or 4 or 2? What would
Depends
be
the time of year. There was some rodeos I did that were 4 and 5, 6. The last summer that I rodeoed was the summer of 2005. And I went about it the right way and let them know I was going to the PBR. I had some contracts. I did it the right way. I didn't leave on bad blood. The month of July of 2005, I did 26 rodeo performances. I went from St. Paul, Oregon, which was 6 in 5 days, to the Calgary Stampede, to Cheyenne Frontier Days, to Abilene, Kansas, or something. 26 rodeo performances. And my body hated me because I never let up. I never stopped.
That brings me to the next point. Anybody that's seen your performances, it's a fucking workout. Were you religiously working out at home trying to stay fit, or were you a natural athlete, have the air for it? Did you lift weights? Did you take dumbbells on the road? How did your body stay sound all those years? Because you were a fucking athlete, you did. I know you had some natural gift as being an athlete, but did you consciously work at eating healthy? Did you consciously take dumbbells on the road? Did you have a workout plan?
I had a bike on the road and I'd run on the road, but when you do 26 performances in a month, I didn't have to do very much extra.
You just exercise yourself.
Yeah, but I'd take a bike on the road. I'd go out for a jog. Whatever. But when I really got in that grind of the summer, I didn't have to do very much because I worked my ass off in those performances. And
Yeah, you're dripping with sweat. I remember seeing
I
it.
always hope people do. I had a plan. Every performance, I had a plan.
Okay. Go into
know,
detail about that. What do you mean?
I would say, okay, we're at Cheyenne, hard place, 3.5-hour performances, huge arena. All right, back then we had 3 sections of bull riding, so I'm starting out in the arena in the barrel, but I got to pace myself because I don't want to give up all the music stuff. Then, so I'd work right away in the rodeo. It's bull riding first. They don't do that anymore. So I'm working the people behind the chutes. The two big, the double-decker grandstand, those are my people with these first 12 bull riders. Put that away, timed event, I go to the other side. That big grandstand, I'm working them. But I got to get those people over there. And I did the same at Pendleton, Oregon. One section at a time. One section at a time. Work them. Look them in the eye. They're not just out there. You go there. I tell young guys that. Fucking go there.
Yeah.
Go see them.
Yeah.
You have a microphone. It doesn't have a cord on it. You just go. And
was that a game changer for you in a positive or negative way when the technology caught up to your act to where in the beginning years you didn't have a microphone where you could, free range? Do you remember, was that a game changer, positive or negative?
I got to the Northern Rodeo Finals in Montana and they handed me, we want you to wear a microphone. And I argued. I said, it's going to ruin me.
Oh, truly?
No, and when I did it, then I went, oh, wait. The way I say it is way funnier than the way he says it.
Yeah.
So what I did was I turned into almost a little stand-up comedy type thing, and I could sing.
Yeah. It would have suited you better, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I started,
because there's no delay. You don't have to relay the joke to the... And that brings me to the next point, is when you're trying to choreograph all this music and shit... How does the guy up there in the stand know when you want him to play the Michael Jackson music or the Billie Jean? Or did you have to choreograph this with the person? Did you have your own announcer that traveled with you? Because this is a production.
Yeah.
Because if they fuck up their timing on this, it ruins it.
Yeah, and if there wasn't a lot of specifics I asked for, certain acts I did where I'd give them a cue, but otherwise I worked with a lot of the same music guys. There was a guy named Chuck Lopeman still up in California that I did a lot of rodeos with. There was 2 or 3 of them I worked, and I trusted them. I said, I'll follow you.
Yeah.
Let's, we got to know each other well enough that if we saw a situation, I can
you could feed off each other.
Yeah, and I can play off. I'm good.
Did you take any improving classes in college? Because I would think that would be a big asset to your world, is to improv, make something up on the fly. Did you do any acting classes?
I didn't, and I didn't realize that was out there.
Okay.
I don't think. Being in Montana. Who the hell?
Yeah.
I learned about that later. All those great comedians, they've been to Second City and the whatever. They have all these improv classes. I do believe, I've had a lot of people now say, why don't you train somebody new? Geez, this guy, why don't you teach him how to be funny? I have a friend of mine said, teaching somebody to be funny is like teaching somebody to be tall.
Yeah.
They either are or they aren't.
That's exactly
You
right.
can perfect it. If you're already funny, you can do some of that improv.
I hope you take this as a compliment because it's meant that way. You remind me of Robin Williams. Robin Williams was the godfather of fucking making shit up on the fly.
On the fly.
And going with it. And your act and your sense of comedy and humor and being able to see a fucking plastic bottle on the ground and make a joke of it or make it into its own little thing is unique. He could do that.
Yeah. How about a flank strap and make it a bloody fucking Australian bull snake?
I love it.
I did the Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Have a bloody look at him. He's a beauty. Do you think Steve Irwin in real life said fuck as much as you? Not a chance.
Not a chance, motherfucker. I got that.
How about, can you see it though? If he did a show when he didn't know he was filming him and his wife out in the bush, and he's like, wait, what was her name? What's her name? Wendy or
something like that. The
Mindy.
kid.
Mindy, have a fucking look at that one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That would be funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
But anyway, Robin Williams. I'm like Robin Williams without the cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was obviously a true natural
Genius.
a genius. Yes, he was on another fucking level, which is obviously why he fucking died too. Those people that are that wired that way, they're either hero or zero kind of a deal, But so let me ask you. I want to ask you now. What happened that PBR came to you and said, we want you to be exclusively for us? Or what made that change? What was the appeal for you to go to PBR? Obviously, money is important, and I'm not asking you for details, but if you want to give them, I'll take them. But what made you make that change? What age were you, and were you ready for it? What was going on in your life?
I had done the NFR 7 times. I was in the midst of that 05 season. Randy Bernard came to me and I said, I'm winning awards, I'm getting bonuses. It would take quite a bit of money because I knew what I was making.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. He said, think about it. All right. That was like February.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through the PBR and the rodeo season through the winter. And I remember I missed a PBR and I missed some rodeos. I was home. I had hernia surgery. I had to get something fixed.
Mm-hmm.
I not get fixed, but
Yeah.
So me and my wife and my little girls head out on the road. The first rodeo I did in June, the first one I went, I'm burned out of this shit. What was not appealing to me, I felt like I did everything I could in rodeo. What more can I do? What other rodeos can I get? I was a little tired of that rodeo life. Some people remain addicted to living out of a trailer and dumping their shitter in the woods forever.
Yeah, they're just born carny.
They're 60 years old going still team roping and just, oh God, I love this. I was in the business because I was performing.
Yeah.
I wasn't addicted to the carny life. I wasn't addicted to having a trailer and parking. I mean, I wanted to perform. I wanted to kick their ass.
Yeah.
And so I said, I need to do this. And the girls, Shelb was going to start school. So I went all summer and I went to these places. I had extended contracts and I sat down face to face in a committee room and I said, this is what's going on. I'm burned out.
Yeah.
Shelby's starting school. The PBR made me an offer. I know I have a contract next year. I'm asking you. I'm telling you my deal. 'Cause it was affecting me. I was getting some depression and they were all good. If you do it right, you're okay.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like I did everything I could in rodeo. And I ended up getting the NFR that year and people knew I was leaving and it was cool. And then away I went.
Yeah.
PBR.
And did PBR have less weekends? What was the appeal to go
So
there?
what
clearly money, but beyond money, what was the other appeal? Less weekends, better treatment, better culture. What else other than money?
There was a couple things. Because I don't know how much money played a role in it.
Okay, fair
honestly.
enough. Okay.
Yeah. PBR, I could get on an airplane on a Thursday and fly, go stay in a nice Marriott hotel somewhere, go to the nicest arenas in America where NBA teams played or whatever with a locker room. I'd walk out to the production meeting and they'd hand me a microphone to put on. The barrels would be sitting by the fence. And I'd get done. I didn't have to worry about where to park, if I was going to have electricity. All I had to worry about.
Why could you fly into those events, but you couldn't fly into a rodeo?
Rodeo took more. I had to take my own barrel. They still wanted clown acts. I just didn't feel like I could
get it on a plane.
I just didn't feel like I could do them justice at a rodeo. I had shit I took.
Yeah.
It was an event to me. So PBR they didn't want these big acts. They just wanted me in the arena
entertaining,
performing. Hey, when we need you, you better freaking be there. And I was.
Yeah.
I could be.
Yeah.
So here's the problem. Here's where we run into a hitch in I did what I thought was best for me and my family at the time, which was really good. My girls were little, so I would leave on a Thursday, home on a Sunday. When I was home, I was home. I didn't have another job.
You were dad when you were home.
Yeah, we were building up a nice place. My wife at the time, she was made the Montana Circuit Finals as a barrel racer, great horse trainer. The girls were riding, starting some little rodeos. Here's the hitch, though. as they got older, all their shit was on weekends. So I'd be home during the week, and then they'd have a junior rodeo somewhere, and I'd leave. So that connection we had by traveling together in that motorhome, pulling a trailer. When I went to the PBR, because I thought it was the best thing, that connection was broken.
Yeah.
That time we had came to an end. And it was a more cold, I'm just going to get on an airplane, and I go work and come home, and you guys are still here, and you guys, Katie's done all the work and taking care of the kids, and it changed things.
Yes. And that snuck up on you. You probably didn't expect
Snuck up
that.
on me really big.
Yeah.
I really started battling my head on it. I remember coming in, I'd fly in as late as I could on a Thursday. I remember leaning on the window of a plane. It'd be dark coming into some city and be depressed. And, well, hell, I'll just go have a couple glasses of wine and I'll be okay. You know, it was I struggled with it. And as it went, and I'm not married anymore. And I always say there's no handbook for a kid from a town of 1,700 people that is performing in Madison Square Garden in front of 15,000 people, and they all want some. How do you handle that? Could anybody tell me it's easy to say, well, you shouldn't have done this, you should have done that. Thank you. But
Did you? You're exactly right. It's a different. Entertaining people is exhausting as fuck. I was never as close to as funny as you, but I never got the crowd you got. But in my peak, I'd have 3,000 people show up. When I'm teaching these people for 2 days at a tour, I've got to be an entertainer. I've got to be an educator. I've got to be the traffic cop. I've got to keep things moving. When I get done with a tour, I was fucking mentally wiped. Physically, I hadn't done shit. Compared to you. You were sweating off, 10 pounds of sweat in your performance. I never worked that hard, but mentally, entertaining and teaching people, to me, I felt like I got run over by a fucking bulldozer. How did you feel when you got done with the performance? You were physically probably fucked too, but mentally, what did it do to you?
Mental exhaustion's worse.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Physical exhaustion, you can plop down and eat pizza and watch a football game and go, Mental, the way I describe what I was like during a performance was this. I didn't sit... I know rodeo clowns that in their barrel, they open up their little book of jokes and read one and then tell a joke. How much exhaustion, how much effort does that take? Sorry, guys, if you're watching. Not much. Never did that. It was clear my mind. I would warm up to get a little sweat going to get my mind open up. And when I walked out there, I'd go, I would say it out loud. All right, here we go. What do I got here? What do I got? And I'd spend the first 5 or 6 bull riders looking at what I was dealt that day. And when I finished, I was tired. I didn't want... People didn't understand.
How did you recharge when you got home? And the reason I asked this, I would go to the movies for the entire day. When I got home from a clinic or a tour, I would try to go to a movie theater and get there as soon as it opened, 10 o'clock, midday, whatever it would open, earlier the better. And I'd literally sit there and watch every fucking movie all day by myself because I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to see anybody. I did not want to see human beings. That's how I recharged. How did you recharge when you got back?
That's the problem. I had kids and a wife and school concerts and... I think probably the way I did it was I'd get home, and if the weather was good, we ended up building a little place they could work their horses in the winter. We had an indoor arena. And I think that was an outlet. I could turn it off, and being with them was different. However, we laughed about it at the time, and now I look at it and it kind of makes me sad. My kids, when they were little, everybody loved their dad and he was so funny, and they say, no, we get grouchy dad.
Yes.
We get grouchy dad. It was funny at the time, and looking back now, that's too bad. Really, that.
No, I can relate to that very much so. Yeah, very much so, because you've given everybody else your best. You've given everybody else your best.
That came up. Everyone else gets the best you. We get the leftover one.
You get the tired, the exhausted, mentally fucking fried, physically fried, etc. Yeah.
And I never looked at it as grouchy. I was just tired. And I saw it a description. I wish I could remember what comedian it was, since we talked about Rodney Carrington, Robin Williams. Comedians in real life are often thought of as grouchy in real life. Oh yeah, comedians are good on stage. When they're off stage, they're grouchy. They're not. Comedians, when they walk out to perform, they open up their mind to this, and they take it all in and they give it back out. And even stand-up comedians like a Rodney Carrington, who has material, and he's a singer, and he's still opening. He's listening to what people say. He's opening it up. When you walk off stage, you want to do this.
Close it all down, yeah.
Once you close it, it's hard for people to get back in. And then they think you're an asshole.
Yeah.
But you're not an asshole. You're tired.
Yeah.
You went, and you switched the switch off. So I would walk through a hotel lobby, Flint, hey, you guys, good. Oh, what's wrong with you? Oh, come over here, dude. Hey, you gonna dance for us? No.
That's
off the clock.
That's
Sorry.
exactly right. People don't realize it's a fucking job. You know what I mean? And you might like your job, but it is a job. It's an act. It's, I saw that firsthand when Rodney came here. The Rodney I got to interview is so different. He's very smart. He's educated. He's very thoughtful. He's a philosopher. This motherfucker's got some deep thoughts to him.
Yeah, he does.
But when you see him on stage, you just think this motherfucker's a goofball, dirtiest motherfucker in the world. He's funny as fuck. But when I sat down here, I said, this is a really smart man. It's a character he plays. When you sit down with him, you get a whole different Rodney that's not even close to the one on stage, which I thought both Rodneys were phenomenal, okay?
Yeah.
But I love picking his brain about life and business and money and his career, because he's a deep thinker. He's not this goofball that you see on stage that just makes you laugh.
That you got to do the comedy he does. I remember seeing him live. Jeff Metters took me. You know Jeff, TV. He and Rodney are good friends.
Yeah.
So he would take me to watch Rodney. And I remember seeing Rodney Carrington going, that fucker's smart. Like you got to be smart to do that, don't you?
Yeah.
Write songs like he writes songs and come up, see the world. You see, we see the world differently. Things happen and there's a different twist to it.
Yeah.
And usually competitive. That's what Metters is the one said. You and Rodney are a lot alike because he's friends with both of us. Competitive. If you're out golfing, you're not fucking around the whole time because you want to win.
Yeah. Do you regret, I'll just say it, fuck it. Do you regret doing the PBR because of the family thing, mate, or not?
My biggest regret in this entire career is my family falling apart.
Yeah.
Being divorced. However, I can't look back and regret the decision I made because, like I said, it was the best decision at the time for me and my family. I thought I was doing the best thing, and I couldn't have kept rodeoing like that because I was burned out. I still don't really miss rodeo. I'm a pretty good compartmentalizer as far as missing things. Like right now, every week, you miss being out in the arena, don't you? Not really. Then people are disappointed. Oh, come on, you liar. No. I know I cannot do it physically or mentally, so why miss it?
Yeah, very much so.
It's not.
And I also think you were burnt out, like you said. I only do 3 tours a year now, but it's a little embarrassing, but I'll say it. Before I go out in front of the crowd, I go to the bathroom and I stand in my bus and I stand in front of the mirror and I say, Clinton, if this is the last day you were alive and this is the last time people got to see you, what would they think today? Even though I've said the same fucking joke, the same fucking round penning demonstration, the same tour, I've said literally the exact same information for 28 years. It's hard to be enthusiastic without repeating the same shit. So I have to say in front of a mirror, if today was your last day, would you be proud of your performance? Or would you say, motherfucker, you just shortchanged it. You just went through the motions. Does that sound stupid to you? Did you ever do anything like that?
Sawyer Brown. That's a group that I think of. I love Sawyer Brown, with the races on. Mark Miller, I kind of got to be friends with him. I saw him playing the Beer Garden in Ellensburg, Washington 2 summers ago. And I love them, and I think they love making music. But I'm like, you guys played the biggest arenas in America in the early 90s. And you're playing the Beer Garden in
What did they say?
I didn't ask them.
What do you think the answer is, just personally? Do you think it's because they need the money or they just love to be on stage?
I do believe they truly love making music. And I think it falls into that they are still physically able to put on a great show and they have a lot of fans out there. And and they want to do it. And I think the general public has a real misconception of the amount of money people make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's some of them make a shit ton. Garth Brooks shits money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've had a lot of people do, I moved to Fort Worth. I'm in the office. I thought you retired. Why don't you why aren't you on a beach somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for one, I'm divorced.
Yeah, motherfucker. I got split in
so
half.
there's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What did you think I made?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But to the last day that I stepped in the arena, the last night I put makeup on and stepped in the arena was not at one of our major PBRs. I did the World Finals, but I had some summer events. Big Sky, Montana. Wonderful event for big money people. It was on a Saturday night, and I did not soak it all in. People are like, were you emotional? Because they did a big thing for me. I wasn't, because in that arena, I was still fucking worried about doing a good job.
Yeah.
To the last minute I was in that arena, I was stressed out that I wasn't giving it enough.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did it hit you when you walked out of the arena? Did it get emotional for you?
I walked out of the arena, and my one daughter was there, Shelby, because that's right outside of Bozeman. And she's 25 now, 24 years old. I walked out, and she was standing there with tears running down her face. And she said, that's it. She actually, before the show, I was sitting there putting my makeup on, not thinking much about it. And I looked up, and she was crying.
Yeah.
I said, what's wrong? She said, I never thought of this. Both my girls told me this. Never thought of it. They said, this is the only thing we've ever known you to be. Mm-hmm. This is dad to us. And you're doing this for the last time. We don't know how to act.
Yeah, it's a chapter closing.
They didn't know.
Yeah.
DT Horses was founded with one goal in mind: produce elite performance horses. For over 20 years, we've consistently met that goal and raised the bar, thanks to our dedication and focus on what matters most. DT Horses believes that every horse we raise deserves the best start possible. With a great foundation in place, all our colts go on to excel in the discipline best suited for them. We have many top performers in team roping, cow horse, cutting, calf roping, and barrel racing. We're offering our elite horses to the public. For information about the athletes available, please contact the DT Horses office at 480-471-4348. Learn more about DT Horses and the impact we've made on the Western performance horse world at dthorses.com.
Nothing would please them more than to see this old piece of shit in a coffin. Oh, they want to drive a steel knife down a stupid fucking throat, and they talk about it quite often.
Okay, guys, this hate mail comes in from Terry Sutton Withers. Okay, Terry Sutton Withers. He needs to shut up and just train horses. I used to have respect for him. Terry, come on now. It's not real nice.
Breaking Bad is a 2020 stallion by Stevie Ray Vaughan. Out of the all-time leading broodmare Sweet Abra, he is dual-registered AQHA and APHA and is 6-panel NN. At just 5 years old, he has already earned over $200,000 and is still showing. He is nominated to the major NCHA and NRCHA stallion programs and is part of the new Legacy Bonus, which has an estimated payout of $1 million to be paid at the 2025 NCHA Futurity. For more information or to request your breeding contract, contact Bo Gallion Stallion Services or Fultz Ranch at 806-672-6039.
Okay, Flint, we're back again, mate. So what was the defining moment that you said you wanted? You know, I remember the defining moment about when you ended NFR and went to PBR. What was the defining moment that you said you wanted to end your PBR career and officially be retired? You told us about how it ended, but I want to know the decision to get to that point. Was there one thing that just hit you in the face? Was there, for me, I did a colt starting clinic, and I almost saw a kid get kicked in the head and die. Like, it was a wake-up call. These horses kicked out with both, saddled this colt for the first time. I was warning this kid, keep this colt's head bent around, pay attention, don't fuck around. And sure as shit, he saddled this colt up, and the colt jumped away from him. He dropped the lead rope. The horse kicked out with both hind legs, missed his head by about half an inch. If it would have kicked him in the head with both hind legs, it would have killed him right in front of me. And that was a wake-up call for me. Okay, Clinton, you fucking dodged a lot of bullets. You've done this for 28 years. You've never had anybody, in a wheelchair, quadriplegic. You never had any major wrecks. Sure, we've had some people fall off. But as far as a major, wreck, we've never had one. Better quit. Come on now. This kid almost died in front of you. That was a wake-up call for me to we're done with. I need to be done teaching clinics. It was totally an accident, of course, and luckily nobody got hurt. But was there a wake-up call for you? Did something happen or not really?
I don't know if there's one major thing. I started to hurt.
Okay. What age were you?
Well, here, and I haven't mentioned this, I had one wake-up call, but it did not end my career. But it made me rethink things. When I was 41, so 2009, I had a heart attack.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I was at home. And it's funny as now it's taken this long to not be first and foremost on my mind. Mm-hmm. But I was at home working out with my wife was there, and she drove me to town. The life flighted to the hospital in the bigger city, excuse me. Couple stents in my heart, and I went, okay, now I was 41.
Now, why would you have a heart attack? You must be one of the fittest motherfuckers in the world. You were never overweight. You're goddamn like a track athlete. Mm-hmm. How the hell do you get a heart attack? Seriously.
I don't know. I had blockages, 2 major blockages in my arteries.
You have heart disease in your family?
Not really. I think I had some anxiety and some depression stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that was tough on my heart a little bit.
Yep.
And I got that fixed, and I went, it's funny because I never was really scared because I didn't know what was going on. Mm-hmm. I knew something was up. It was the brochure of a heart attack, and it was a bad one.
They get you to the hospital, but if you wouldn't have got there, you were going to be trouble.
And the reason I did not die is because I had been working out through it all. Mm-hmm. And I knew it. I didn't feel, looking back now, I couldn't catch my air. I couldn't finish workouts. And so that was a moment. Honestly, that was a turning point.
Do you remember what age you were, mate?
41.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God damn, that's young.
Yeah, and great shape. Honestly, though, it was a point I kind of said, fuck it. In not necessarily a good way. Mm-hmm. It made me a little distant from my wife a little bit.
Why do you think that was, man? I don't understand.
It didn't really scare me, but I seriously kind of remember going, I'm going to be dead by the time I'm 50. Mm-hmm. There's no way somebody after a heart attack like that
can keep doing what you're doing
for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I battled some depression about it, and I was warned about that. Mm-hmm. And I came out of it pretty well. And so, but then as my career moved on, I started to be in pain. I have kind of one knee that's bad. It's got some meniscus stuff, can't really be fixed. And Achilles, it's bad. I remember tearing a hamstring. And I had talked to our CEO, Sean Gleason, for a few years. What am I going to do when I'm done? I was scared to death. Mm-hmm. Scared to death.
That you couldn't make a living?
That I couldn't make a living. Mm-hmm. It was my lifelong fear.
Yeah.
It was my worst dream. It was what kept me awake at night and I think gave me a heart attack. What the fuck am I going to do? Mm-hmm. And Sean had said, we'll keep you employed. I'll have a position for you. So a season before it, I started to really hurt. What I started to notice was balance. And I'm scared of bulls. I never was brave. I mean, I'm out there and I got to know them. I started to catch myself not quite getting that rail as quick. And I started to go, oh, man, this could go bad.
Yeah.
And so the season of 23, leading into 2023 season, first of the year, I told the PBR.
What age would you have been?
So I was 54.
Yep.
Yeah. This was a couple of years ago is all. I said, I'll let you know what I'm going to do March. I said, I'll let you know in March. I should know how my body feels. Well, as soon as you say that, you're checked out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Middle of January or towards the end of January, I sent an email.
You're already divorced by this point.
Yeah,
that's all
I've
cleaned
been
up.
divorced about 7 years.
Okay, so that's cleaned up. That's behind you.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I
as
don't
much-
know if it's ever cleaned up. I
Well,
don't
not
know.
with
It's-
kids. If you got kids with them, it's never cleaned up. But
Yeah.
you get the general gist of it.
Yep,
You've separated. The property's sold. The money's
Yeah. So I sent an email to the CEO and kind of my other boss and said, this will be it. And I said I wanted to tell you because there were some really important events coming up that I had worked for years with great crowds. The Right Away, Sacramento, California. And so that every weekend, I said, don't pull this, do a big deal every weekend shit. But every weekend there was a moment when the announcers would say, hey, you know what, this is it. And I'd wave to the crowd. And that meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
But I was checked out. But physical pain.
You were just getting tired, physical pain.
Physical
were you
pain.
still were you working as you got older? You know, you're over 50 now. Did consciously working out away from performances get a bigger part of your life? Diet become a bigger part of your life? Did you
I
Did you
tried.
actively try, or you were just such a natural, pretty good athlete and didn't gain weight? You know, we all gain weight as we got older.
Yeah.
Did you have to naturally fight that, or you had pretty good genetics there?
Dancing for 2.5 hours a night, 3 nights a week helped a lot.
Okay, fair enough.
But that started to trail off. I was doing some sleight of hand to make it look like I was still really getting after it every night, but I just couldn't.
Yeah.
And the air starts to go. The legs were really going. Like I said, knees and hips, and I was still working out, biking, and couldn't really run anymore with some things going on, and so. Again, physical pain causes emotional pain as well.
Oh, yeah, very much
It
so.
was exhausting.
Yep.
It was.
Yep.
And
did you
so,
try to pay attention to your diet through the years, mate, or did you try to eat clean? Did you
Yeah.
just eat junk? Tell me about that a little bit.
And a lot of that became very conscious of it when I had a heart attack.
Okay.
And cleaned up. I lost a whole bunch of weight at that point.
See, I wouldn't have thought you would have had much to fucking lose. I never remember you heavy.
No, never was
you're the
heavy.
heaviest now, mate, I've ever seen you.
I'm the heaviest I've ever.
You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm
that-
not saying
yeah.
you're a fat fuck now, but you're working on it, and so am I. We're both working on being a fat fuck.
It bothered, and I'm conscious of it, and I'm trying.
Yeah, we got to
But
try now.
There's two things working against me. I'm 56 years old.
Yes.
And I'm sedentary.
Yes.
I can't take off and run 4 miles.
That's why I
like
find
used
it hard to believe you had a lot to lose, though, because I don't ever remember you being big at all. You were waspy,
to. Yeah. No, I was. I was wiry.
Wow, that's a good one, yeah. So, let me ask you this then. So when your body's getting sore, you're tired, were you mentally as burnout at the PBR as what you were with the NFL? More, eh?
Yeah.
Tell me why. Just second time around, second chapter?
Yeah, and I just knew that the difference was in 2005 when I quit rodeoing, I was 40 or not even 40. I was 27. Yeah, I was 35 years old. Well, let's see, 38, 39. I wasn't even 40 years old. So that's different. I can tell you that summer of 05, I was beat up just from doing so many performances. But those early 40s for me, up until I had a heart attack, and even after, I was at the peak of not necessarily physically, but that
Craft.
comedy,
Craft. Yes.
I would say I had the confidence to say, somebody comes to me and my IFB in my ear and say, we got a 4-minute commercial here. It's all you. I kick anybody's ass.
Yes. To improv it, yeah.
Improv it to the balls,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And I still feel like that.
Yeah.
That isn't an arrogant thing.
No, that's
I
cool.
just
Yes.
know I approached my job different than most guys approach who does the same job.
Mm-hmm.
I had a goal. I wasn't hung up on the rodeo world, like I said. Wasn't hung up on what was happening. I was there
Yeah.
to win.
Yeah.
Basically.
So when you officially retired from the PBR, what role did they give you? Did you want to be done completely? You know, obviously we all got to work and still make a living,
Yeah.
you know? So what did you want to stay with PBR? Was it family to you? Tell me where your head was at.
Well, I'll say this about the Western sports world in general. It's a pretty small world.
It is.
Yeah, that takes your everything.
Everything.
And I said, what can I do? So the first we have this new Teams series stuff. I did some TV commentating. It was behind the shoot stuff. Didn't really like it.
Okay.
The TV world I like doing this stuff. That I wasn't passionate about.
Too scripted?
Too journalistic.
Too politically correct bullshit?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, dig in there and ask him in the middle of shit. Ask him what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's
He don't
a
wanna
coach.
fucking talk to you
he's
now,
a coach.
yeah.
He's a,
Yeah.
The TV world and that isn't necessarily. It's not what people see.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
There's a lot going
Yeah.
on. But I said, okay, Western sports is what I know inside and out. So who would keep me employed full time to live up to what I've been doing financially, close anyway?
Yeah.
Think about that. Does anybody? I for 10 years had people say, you shouldn't worry at all when you're done in the arena. People would kill to have you work for them. Who? Who? Do you ever think about that? Unless it's on your own,
Yeah.
you've done well. You're a
Yeah.
diagram of that. Guy in my place. Who?
Not very
And
many
what?
people.
In the Western sports world, there's one organization that is a production company, a marketing company, a media company, a sponsor. There's one. It's the PBR.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And that's a fact.
Yep.
The PRCA is the sanctioning body of rodeo. PBR, they don't produce anything. It's the PBR. So we had some meetings and Sean said, I told you I'd always keep you employed. So I'm a senior vice president. I'm on the executive leadership team that oversees the running of the company. I'm more a little abstract. I'm more of a consulting. What do you think of this? Are we doing this right? I wear a cowboy hat and I can do stuff like this because the PBR, like many companies, whether it's the NFL or the NBA, they're not run by basketball players and football players. They're run by marketing experts and finance experts and sponsorship experts. We're the same way. Our CEO needed another cowboy in the company that could come and do stuff. You think they cared if I took the day off to come and do this? No.
Yeah.
They freaking loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you moved to Fort Worth. Do you miss Montana at all?
Oh, yeah. I do. Again, it comes down to that. Do you miss it? Well, it doesn't do me any good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I miss the mountains. That's what
Yeah.
everybody says. You'll
Yeah.
miss the mountains.
Yep.
I don't necessarily miss 9 degrees in the morning.
Yeah.
Even though I do miss it a
Yeah.
little bit. My girls are up there. My
Oh,
parents
so
are
the
up
rest
there.
of the family stayed up there.
Yeah.
What do your kids do for a living?
My daughter Shelby works for a big marketing company called Learfield Sports that deals in college intercollegiate athletics.
Okay.
And they sell marketing sponsorships for universities, and they started a college rodeo division. So she works to help promote college rodeo teams at 4-year universities around the country.
That's awesome.
So she's good. She has a marketing degree. My daughter Paige just spent a year in Boston. She has a degree in psychology. She spent a year working in a brain lab. She's a certified, can scan brains. Worked in a lab at MIT in Boston for a year.
Are you sure she's your fucking
I
kid?
don't know, but I
Seriously.
in the words of my dad.
I'm just fucking with you, mate.
No, my
seriously.
dad used to say, people go, are you Flint's dad? And he'd say, I don't know, but I'm fucking married to his mother. So now she's back applying for grad schools to get a PhD in, she's leaning towards some sports psychology, some clinical psych. So,
You must be pretty proud then.
oh, they're the best.
Yeah.
They are both national champions in college rodeo. My daughter Paige, her last year of college 2 years ago, was the individual national champion in the goat tying. They won a teams championship a couple years before that. My daughter Shelby was coaching the year. So they're national champs, college grads.
You should be. I can tell just talking to you.
They're the best.
You're very proud of them.
Oh, they're the best.
You're very proud of them, and you know they're not on the pole and they're not in fucking jail and they've got great careers.
No shit.
What else could you ask for?
Now the
Seriously.
pole, there's some money to be.
I support single mothers all the time.
Shelby, listen, I'm your dad and I love you, but Teasers is looking for.
I love it. Well, good deal, man. So tell me, what is the future of PBR? Meaning that, is it getting stronger? Is it staying the same? Is it going down? How did COVID fuck you guys up in PBR? Or maybe it didn't.
We navigated COVID better than any sports league in the country.
Okay.
We were 3-4 weeks into it, having bull ridings with no crowds at the Lazy Arena in Oklahoma.
And still filming it.
We jumped through every hoop they made us jump through and made sure bull riders were making money.
That's awesome.
People forget it. I think in the rodeo world, I quote, in that core rodeo fan, I think a lot of people, those old rodeo fans, interpret that the PBR, I see it. Oh, PBR, that's a sinking ship. Because it's not doing the same thing. It's not doing what it always did. Rodeos,
what do you mean by that? I don't understand. Because I don't follow PBR as a dedicated fan. If I can see it on TV, I'll watch it. But I don't follow it as a team or an organization, so I don't know.
Rodeos are on the Cowboy Channel, and basically it's a live stream from the screen at the rodeo, and they put it out for people to watch rodeos. Rodeos are such a strong tradition, and I love rodeo. I'm a rodeo guy. I do work at the NFR still, but it's going down the same format. We've changed some things. We have a PBR teams series. You think traditional rodeo people like that shit?
Yeah.
Skeptics.
Yeah.
Now, hey, honestly, we just had a industry-changing media deal, dollar-wise, take a shit on us.
Yeah.
Nothing we did. We vetted it out. They were in breach of contract. Yep. We had to terminate the contract. Instantly, rodeo people piled on. You see, PBR screwed up again. Here's why. Here's a reason why. Reader's Digest version. Rodeo has never monetized a media deal. Cowboy Channel, ESPN when it was on, the NFR was on ESPN. Those were time buys.
Yes.
They paid. They've never monetized. Why do NFL players and NBA players and baseball players make millions of dollars? Because of media deals.
Yes.
Because they have these $1 billion TV deals, which is then shared, and these guys, that's where they're making their money. Rodeo, Western sports in general, has never had that.
No.
We've had it. We've done some CBS Sports stuff. Now we signed this Merritt Street media deal, and it was major. I'm not really allowed to say what it was.
That's all right.
But it wasn't thousands.
Yes, I get the drift.
So when they missed payment and were in breach of contract, and people say, nice job, PBR, just go on the Cowboy Channel. No. This was significant industry-changing money. And we're going to be okay because the rest of our business structure is in great shape.
Yeah.
We are double-digit percentages ahead in ticket sales leading into this season. The thing that we have is we go to New York City and sell out 3 days in a row.
That's awesome.
We go to LA and sell out a couple nights. But that doesn't always get across to the core rodeo fan because they don't care about that. So it's a really tough thing to explain. And you get, PBR's too commercialized.
Yeah.
Now, you know what happens? How much have you heard? Man, Cowboys should make more money.
Oh, yeah.
Probably people have sat in this chair.
Very much so.
Where do they think it comes from?
Yeah.
When
Commercials.
somebody does something to help Cowboys make more money, it used to be a sellout. Now it's a money grab. That's the new term. So Cowboys should make more money. Well, hey, all right. Hey, PBR, let's do this deal and double what Cowboys can make in a year. We got the team series. We got this. What do you think? Fucking sellouts.
Yeah. The Western industry, as a general rule, is its own worst fucking enemy. And I'll say it, fuck it, I don't care. its greatest strength and its greatest weakness is the same goddamn thing. Its greatest strength is tradition. That's its greatest strength.
Greatest strength.
But it's also its back of the hand. It's its greatest
Everything.
weakness. Is they're so fucking stuck in tradition they won't get out of it. Okay, and you know, perfect is and this a little bit of this is just fucking humans in general. I got out of the reining industry 2 or 3 years ago and just strictly did cow horses now, and I'm really only doing it for fun. I don't make any money out of it. It's just fun and enjoyable. And there's this new, I don't know, it's a company. It's called 100X, and they're putting some massive amounts of money into reining and putting on some phenomenal shows, like real productions, like PBR productions, arena wraps, and lights, camera action, and VIP tables, and making this a fucking event. Like, it's cool. When I went to my first 100X show, I'm like, okay, these sumbitches got this shit together. This is not just a fucking horse show. They're trying to make it like a production, okay? Putting piles of money into this thing, piles of money. All people can do is shit on them. I don't know where this money's coming from. I think they're corrupt.
China.
This has got to be China. Fuck this. You know, he's a crook. And I was like, are you ungrateful son of a bitches? Here's a company and a guy. I want him on the podcast. I want to interview him because this guy thinks out of the fucking box, okay? Here's a guy sinking hundreds of thousands, and he's losing his ass, I'll guarantee.
Millions.
Every horse
He's
show.
not thinking hundreds of thousands.
Every horse show, I'll bet my right fucking arm that he's losing his ass big time. And so many people in NRHA are shitting on these people about where the money's... Who gives a fuck where the money's coming from? Who gives a flying fuck? If it's coming from the cartel, I couldn't give a shit.
I know.
If it's supporting the Western industry, who gives a fuck? And one of these guys that was bitching about him the other day, I said, you ungrateful motherfuckers. You guys should be walking up to 100X every day and saying, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. Instead of bitching about being given hundreds of thousands of dollars of money, you're sitting here questioning where the money came from, or is it going to continue? Who gives a fuck? Get behind it. Shake their hands. Support them. You know, there's a whole culture. I'm getting on a bit of a fucking rant now, as you can tell.
I get salty. I get a
little salty. I get criticized for being, I was all commercialized because I wasn't in it for the horse. Like, because in the natural horsemanship kind of genre, if you don't die in a single wide trailer in the middle of New Mexico with your slick fork fucking saddle and die on an oxygen tank, you weren't really there for the horse.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
Anybody that
exactly.
makes money in the Western world, and especially if you make a lot of money, you're now the evil. You're like the Darth Vader. You're like the piece of shit because you made a lot of money in this industry. There's a stigma. And that was actually one of the reasons I started this podcast, is because I wanted to change the stigma. It's not bad to make money in the Western world.
Right.
If you had 10 car dealerships and made millions, everybody would slap you on the back. Congratulations, you had 10 car dealerships you sold for 20 million. You make 20 million in the horse game? Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. You're a sellout. I can't believe you did this. There's a whole rotten culture that needs to be changed. Because again, the cowboys and everybody bitches that there's not enough money. We're barely surviving. We can barely keep our head above water.
So then you take action. Then you're proactive.
Yes.
Let's do this. Let's do something, make more money.
Oh, you're a sellout. You're a sellout.
That's a money grab.
It's a money grab.
What is a money grab?
Fuck,
That's
I
the
want
new
it.
term.
If there's a money grab fucking contest, I'm in it, son of bitches.
PBR Team Series. That's a money grab.
Yeah.
Well, if you rode bulls, you'd grab that shit too.
Goddamn right. Because
I
you
mean-
could be the last day you get on a bull.
Yeah.
So it's great in the fact that it has a lot of history and heritage and tradition, but it's also its own worst fucking enemy, is that they can't get out of their own goddamn way to let this thing make more money, let this thing get to the next level, let this thing get bigger. So I exactly know the stigma. I'm not ashamed to say it. I did my whole career, Flint, for money. I'm not ashamed to say it. I could sit here and say, I did it for the horse. No, I was good at what I did. I had a natural talent for it. I was good with business, and I recognized this was a fucking way to make money. Valley Equine Reproduction is the premier equine breeding facility located in Stephenville, Texas. I've worked with the team there multiple times and had nothing but great experiences. Formerly known as the Brazos Valley Stallion Station, they offer everything. They manage over 45 stallions, including some of the most renowned in the industry. They offer mare care and breeding services, foaling out services, a recent mare program, sales fitting, and rehabilitation services. Plus, their Super Stallion Incentive Program has awarded substantial payouts. In 2024, the program paid out $1.4 million across the NCHA and NRCHA. If you're in the breeding business, you have to check out Valley Equine Reproduction. Visit them online at valleyequinerepro.com or give them a call at 254-485-8280. You know, I just wanted to take the time to genuinely thank all of our loyal listeners to the Uncut and Real Raw podcast. The success it's had has been absolutely phenomenal. We are in the top 1% of all genres of podcast in the country. And that in itself is pretty cool because, you know, the equine industry as a whole is really small compared to like dogs, cats, NASCAR, sports. You know, the amount of people that own dogs and cats and other pets compared to horses is amazingly different. So the fact that we're such a small niche industry and we're already in the top 1% of podcasts in the country is phenomenal. It's because of you guys' loyalty and the super guests that we have on. I can't thank the guests that are coming on for their realness, their dedication to tell a story, their successes and their failures. The podcast was just designed to be a hobby for me to bullshit and have a couple of cocktails and talk to some really cool people. Never in a million years did I dream that it would take off in the level that it has. But I just wanted to thank the loyal listeners, thank the guests. I'm going to keep bringing you real, genuine conversations that are not fucking politically correct, and we're going to just tell it how it is. And we just thank you for your support, and I just wanted to reach out to you. Thanks, guys. Most people don't get to love what they do and make a shit ton of money.
Hey,
they really don't.
I'll tell you what, when Tom Brady, Brett Favre, I'll use football players. Why doesn't he fucking just retire?
Yeah.
God, when's Tom Brady going to quit? When's Brett Favre going to quit? When I got it. Would you just fucking retire? I got bad messages. You know what? I feel bad for those people because they never had that thing that they were so passionate about and so good at and wanted to kick ass at it that they didn't understand you don't just walk away. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I'm very passionate about it, and I love my Western heritage, Western sports.
Very much so. Nobody's shitting on
but
it.
I, you know.
But they got to grow.
Recent things. Oh, this is bad.
Oh, yeah. You should see
bad.
When the fucking cow horse tried to move from Reno to Fort Worth, oh, my God, the stink on that. It's been there 6 years now. It's growing tenfold. You know what I mean? The world's greatest horseman is going to be more popular watched than even the cutting fraternity now. Moving the NRCHA to Fort Worth for the fraternity was the smartest thing the organization ever did. But how many people fought it? How many people were small-minded? It's going to ruin it. It's not going to have tradition. It's a West Coast event. We got to keep it in Reno, and fuck me. You know what I mean? You know, when the NRHA moved from Columbus. You know, Sam Smith told me when NRHA was in Columbus, Ohio, and did the fraternity up there, when they tried to move it to Oklahoma City, the whole NRHA world melted down. This is terrible. It started in Ohio. We got to keep it in Ohio, and this is where it got started. Look at NRHA now. You know, look how much it flourished once it moved to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
You know, because again, change is difficult. Change is uncomfortable, but change is what you need to grow. That you never grow without being uncomfortable. It doesn't work because if growing could happen financially or career-wise without being uncomfortable, everybody would grow. Right. Think that through. If you could grow without being uncomfortable, every motherfucker would do it. But it doesn't work like that. You have to get uncomfortable to make more money, or you have to get uncomfortable to grow your career.
Yeah.
Business decisions, the whole thing. So where do you see PBR going in the future? Where's that sport going?
I believe we do have people in the organization, including our CEO, that really behind this team bull riding thing.
Now, when you say, is it team country or team state?
No, it's, hey, they're represented, but they're based in cities. The guys don't move there necessarily. There's 10 teams right now, and they draft their players. There's the Oklahoma Wildcatters and the Arizona Ridge Riders, and there's owners of the teams.
Oh, truly?
Teton Ridge owns the Arizona Ridge Riders.
Love it.
Oklahoma Wildcatters is an investment group led by a professional golfer. I mean, so what we do is there's matchups. We have games, 5-on-5. but we've set it up live production where there's this team's on this shoots, this team's on these shoots. They have uniforms, buck one at a time, best of 5. That team wins, and it goes through a whole season. But we also need to keep the individual season to maintain the integrity of what it means to be a world champion. And if we don't do an individual season, somebody else will.
That's right.
So we have both. We are one event as we do this. We're one event into the Unleash the Beast Monster Energy Tour that is 23 cities and then a World Finals in Fort Worth. So there is...
Been well received?
Yes. And what we're doing is tapping into different wells. We just signed a major partnership deal with Progressive Insurance. Guess what? It's not a jean company or boot company or hat company. Progressive Insurance.
That's awesome.
I mean, we have some great ones with the Border Patrol, with Air Force Reserve, and so we are benefiting. The Yellowstone effect is a real thing.
Very much so.
It's
it
a
is.
term.
Yes, it is.
And listen, we take ownership of our Western lifestyle. How many cowboys have you talked to that say, that dumb son of a bitch with his hat on backwards, oh, here comes rodeo season. People wear their hat one day a year. He bought it.
And he showed up.
He bought it. And so we take ownership, and we should have pride in that. But we got to welcome everybody else, because you know what they want? They want what they think we have.
Yes.
They want to be a fucking cowboy.
Yes, salad. Taylor Sheridan has done more for the entire Western industry than anybody in history.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? He's done more for any marketing campaign at all. It's cool to be a cowboy again. You know, I wasn't here in the 80s, but do you remember it? They told me in the 80s there was like a cowboy. J.C. Penney had cowboy stuff in it. You know, I think it was Ron Pack, you know, from Stephenville. I bought my old place from. Ron was working over the president of Panhandle Slim.
Yeah, I remember.
And J.C. Penney wanting to buy Western shirts. And now there was a period where mainstream America got a little Western. It was in the 80s sometime.
Yeah, there's been some phases. Urban Cowboy with John Travolta and Gillies.
Yep.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
Not quite so big, but 8 Seconds
Yes.
with Lane Frost. That was another one where people went, ooh, Cowboys.
Yeah.
Nothing's done it
Nothing like Yellowstone. And I don't think, and not just Yellowstone, but all the series that he spun off. I think it's here to stay. I think it's just going to keep getting better and better and better. Let me ask you something. Is it really true? Is this stereotype that I've heard true or false? Again, I don't know the PBI world, but is it true that the Brazilians as a culture are just better at bull riding than everybody else, or not really? Or is it just they've had a unique group of people that have just kicked ass, or is that bullshit or what?
They are athletic. A lot of them play soccer, you know, so they're a group of smaller guys. But I will tell you, I asked Adriano Moraes, was the first Brazilian to come over here. 3-time world champion PBR. He rode 10 bulls at the NFR as well. There's been 3 guys, Jim Sharp, Norman Curry, and Adriano Moraes. I asked Adriano a few years ago, why are they so good? Why are Brazilians so good at bull riding? And he said, Flint, when they leave everything they know as a culture, they have one goal, and that's to be great bull riders in the United States, because they know what life can offer them here. But when they come over here to be bull riders, you as Americans don't understand that you always have a plan B.
Yeah.
Always. Hey, if this all took a shit on me today, I'd have a plan B. I'd be okay. He said, no plan B.
Love it.
It's the only thing they know. And they move, and they all live. They travel together. They live together. They work out together, and they have one goal. And only one plan. Plan A is to win and make money.
Yeah. I love that. When there's no plan B, plan A looks real attractive.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You work your ass off at plan A.
Yes, you do, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's why I almost think kids that have got resources, rich parents, wealthy parents, it's almost a detriment to them, believe it or not, because there's not that hunger there for them.
Oh, exactly.
Does that make sense? There's not that fucking plan B. So let me ask you this a little bit now. How is the transition of theoretically retired from one chapter, you've opened up another chapter of what you're doing now, How have you dealt with that? Has it been a struggle? Has it been an easy transition? Have it been a few bumps in the road? Because again, retirement for men can be difficult if you don't handle it right. You know, my dad went through a couple of years of depression when he retired because he felt lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm working maybe as hard or harder than what I ever used to. I still get up at 4:30 in the morning, but I ride horses all day. It's because I want to do it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I think the worst thing that men can do is retire and sit in a fucking chair. You know, you sit, you rot. So how have you made that transition mentally and physically? How's it been for you?
For one, I've never minded going to work, like to an office or whatever. I don't mind that. So that helps. Go back to when people say, do you miss it in the arena? I don't miss the job. I miss being that person. I miss having that. I hate to use the word control because it has a negative connotation. That power to look up and know that those people smiling are because of something I did.
Yeah.
To take them on this journey that I wanted, and at the end of the night going, that's missing from my life.
Yeah.
And I was tired from it. I was tired from being on, you know, that
You
we
are
had
on.
talked
You
about.
are
Yeah.
on. Yes, you are.
So the transition has been, I'm alone a lot, believe it or not. And that's not a poor me thing. I don't really, you know, I don't have anybody around me in my life. I don't have a large group of friends.
Do you enjoy it or not?
I'll tell you that I worry that I've gotten too used to being alone.
It's funny you say that because I fucking love it. I think as men get older, we fucking love peace.
Yeah, it is. I wouldn't mind having someone in my life. Honestly, it doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty cautious about it and pretty picky. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
You need to be because you can't. You only split a fortune so many times, it ain't fucking fortune anymore.
That's true.
Seriously, all jokes aside,
yeah.
you can only split a fortune so many times, and it ain't fucking fortune.
Yeah.
I can tell you as a man, I've been divorced twice. I don't have children. I'll never marry again. I'll never ever live with another woman again, to be perfectly honest. I will live by myself for the rest of my life. Sure, I've got a few advantages. I'm kind of spoilt in some ways, and I'll say it on camera. I got a 1950s wife that I don't sleep with. I have a personal assistant. Her name's Bonnie. She's never seen me naked. I've never seen her naked. She shows up at 7 a.m. She cooks me breakfast, does my cleaning, does my chores.
Well, what's she look like? Does she want to see me naked? No.
She probably would, actually. She likes older men. And... But I love her to death because we have a great relationship and because we don't sleep together. Like, here's a perfect example. I was having lunch the other day and she was fucking yabbering on to me about something, wanted to talk to me about something. And I didn't want to talk to anybody. I'm just eating, I'm watching something on YouTube and I just want to be left in peace. And I turned to Bonnie and I said, Bonnie, shut the fuck up. I just want to have lunch. And I chuckled as I said it. And she looked at me and she said, you're a fucking ass. And I said, yes, I am. And then she started laughing. I started laughing. And I said, Bonnie, do you know why I love our relationship? I said, because if I was sleeping with you, I couldn't have said that just then and I'd have to worry about your feelings.
Yeah.
And I said, I tell you what, just give me 30 minutes to enjoy my lunch and then I'll talk to you whatever the fuck you want to talk about. She laughed and walked off and I laughed and went back to what I was doing. I love it. Every
Funny
joke
how that could never work.
Yeah.
Right.
No, because we've never seen each other naked. That's why it works. That's why I joke. I've got a 1950s wife that I don't sleep with. She shows up at 7. She leaves at 4, 5 days a week, and I fucking love it. I will never have another woman live in a house with me again. I will never get leveraged like that ever again in my life. Now, whether it's Bonnie that stays with me 10 years from now or it's another Bonnie, but that job will never leave. And a lot of guys will say, well, you got the money to do that. Men can do it with 2 days a week. You could say, I could pay some retired lady to come in 2 days a week, does my laundry, does my house, does my errands, etc. Doesn't add up to that much, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm fucking telling you. I separated all the divisions. I separated pussy, I separated my house, I separated this job. I got tired of putting pussy and women where when it crashed, my whole fucking wheel fell apart. I keep now every spoke completely separate. Employees do this. Bonnie does this. Pussy does this. This does this. And I love it. You know why, Flint?
I want a diagram of all this.
You know why? Because when one spoke fucks up, the whole wheel doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I just replace that one spoke. And Bonnie and I have a great relationship. She tells me to fuck off. I tell her to fuck off. But we just laugh and walk off. Yeah. Does that make sense? And I always joke. I say, everything I wear, Bonnie says I look handsome. Everything I want to say.
Even that jacket?
Yeah, absolutely. Every joke I say, she laughs. Every decision I make, she says, that's so smart.
God, you're
Isn't that funny? Now, I know I'm paying her and secretly she spits in my food. I don't give a fuck. But we have a great fun with each other.
Right.
But the key is we've never seen each other naked. That's the fucking key. Soon as you see somebody naked, it goes from, when you don't see him naked, it goes from, yes, sir. You see him naked, it goes from that to, how come I've got to do it? And then it goes from, fuck you, I'm not doing it. That's the transition. You know what I mean? So I personally, as a man, I love a company of a woman, don't get me wrong, but I sure love living by myself. I sure love going to sleep by myself. And I never would have thought that if you would have told me that 10 years ago that I would enjoy being by myself, I'd say you're a fucking fool. Yeah. And now it was a little bit of a struggle in the beginning to go through that transition to having a woman beside you every day and in your bed, blah, blah. But once I went through that, as gay as it sounds, once I went through that uncomfortableness and I got comfortable with it now, it's like I can spend about 3-4 days with a woman and I'm like, oh, you need to fucking leave. Like I need 3 or 4 days by myself. Like I need you to move the fuck on. I love you, and I'll see you again in 3 days, but I don't want to see you 7 days a week. Flint, you can't miss something that is never gone. You can't miss something that's never gone.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
when you're stuck 24/7 with somebody, it's hard to miss them.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I worry that I like being alone too much because if someone does come along, and I was married 22 years.
Long time.
Yeah. And great life. I always say, young people getting married, everybody, don't do it. I don't. Don't do it. My life was better when I was married, and but I see your side. We'll get that diagram.
I love it. When we get done here, we're going to go have a steak dinner. I'll draw this son of a bitch out right now. I hacked the system. I hacked the system. I pay for pussy all the time, and it's nowhere near as expensive as you think, okay? So let me ask you this. Moving on.
You know what's amazing is the people that help you here, their expressions don't even change. They're
desensitized to
Yeah.
There's a reason this is called Uncut and
Uncut
Real Raw.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I do the podcast now. People say, why do you say what you say? Because it's my podcast and it's fun. I'm just bullshitting with people that I enjoy their company.
Do you know, and I told some people this the last couple of days coming here. You had come on my show. By the way, this is the 20th year of my talk show in Vegas at the NFR.
That's right.
Outside the Barrel.
Yeah.
20th year. I don't know if I'll keep doing it. It gets harder all the time. The product's diluted because now everybody's got a show.
Yeah.
And you came on once or twice. And I remember I called you one year, and I really admired your answer. I said, you want to come on my show? And you said, you know what? I know you're on Cowboy Channel. I got to filter everything. I can't say what's on, and I don't want to come on a show where I can't just be me. And I went, great point, because you can't.
Yeah.
And you didn't.
And I was very respectful about it, correct? You didn't take it as offense.
Not one bit.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I was bragging about that Clinton knows what he wants to be and what he wants to accomplish, and he couldn't do it there.
I texted a guy the other day, a very successful horse trainer, won a lot of money. And I said, I'd love to have you on the podcast. You have a great story. I'd love to celebrate your life. And he texted back and said, I'd love to be on. But he said, if it's not something my 10-year-old daughter could listen to, I don't want to do it. And I thought about it, and I very much respected his answer.
Yeah.
I very much respected it. And I texted him back and I said, thank you so much, but that won't work for me. The podcast is designed for adults with adult language.
Exactly.
It's not designed for fucking Disney Channel.
If we know going in.
Yeah, it's not designed for kids. It's not designed for the Disney Channel. It's about adults, real conversations, and real conversations in life are not all pretty. They're sometimes ugly. So I said, I respect your position immensely, and I do. But I appreciate it, but I won't be able to have you on. I wasn't butthurt by his answer. I wasn't upset. And I ended the text by saying, I look forward to shaking your hand the next time I see you. And then when I see that guy next, I'll walk straight up to him and say, great to see you. He didn't offend me with his answer, and I sure hope I didn't offend him with his.
No, I'm going to lead this, Lou.
Yeah.
This leads to a topic that's on my mind a lot. You probably, and because I've looked at some of your stuff and you get fan mail.
Hate mail.
And I'll tell you why, I think. Because in the Western world, we're not supposed to talk like this.
Oh, not at all.
I want my 10-year-old daughter. Why do you have to be, do you think a movie star, every movie they do, they're 10-year-old? Now, that's his philosophy. That's okay. But a lot of people probably don't like this because we're not supposed to say shit.
Yes.
And we're not supposed to talk about the fact that
Money.
this rodeo world isn't as glamorous as you think. I'm divorced and I wish that wouldn't have happened. I grew up in the rodeo world, and my entire childhood, my parents loved the rodeo world. And they used to say, Flint and all the kids, we love rodeo people because they're just wholesome. They're family people. They're better. You know, their quality is better than other people. No, they're not.
Humans are humans.
There's shitty ones,
Yes.
and there's good ones.
You're damn right.
And so we've created this. Rodeo people are. This is it. Yeah, it's because we come from similar backgrounds, the rural lifestyle, and I love the rodeo world and I love what I've done in the world. But I know some real dicks,
Absolutely.
that are cowboys, and I have some really great friends that are pro football players and they're great too.
Even just talking about money is a dirty word in the Western industry.
Yeah.
Just talking money. You know, why do we have to be ashamed of money? You know what I mean? Just the word of talking about money. It's, we don't talk about religion and politics and money. Fuck those three subjects. Can't talk about them. You know, here's what I'm proud of. I started this podcast because it was enjoyable for me. I was retired and wanted something to do. And people say, how do you pick your guests? I tell you how. People I admire for their career, their skill set, what they did. And I just want to have a conversation with them. I just pick people selfishly, not for anybody listening, for me. Who do I want to talk to?
Yeah.
But if I was going to have a real conversation with somebody, I wanted to have a real fucking conversation. Not a fake conversation. How's your mama? How's the kids? What are you doing for Christmas? Circle jerk me off and we go home. That's not what this is designed for. You admitted some very vulnerable things today that took balls to do that. And guests are recognizing that now, that they can come on here, spill their guts about their success, spill their guts about some of their failures, and we're human beings. We all shit our pants once a year from coffee. We all fuck up in life. We all make mistakes.
Really?
I do it 3 times. But anyway, I lied there. Okay, I must admit I'm going to hell. I actually do it 3 times a year. Okay, but once that I admit to. Okay, but it's been successful because we're having real fucking conversations, and you've done that today. Let me ask you a question here. We've got to kind of wrap this up here. I always end the show with this. If you could go back to a 20-year-old Flint, or even younger, or around that age, because, 2021 as men, we're all full of piss and vinegar and cum, and we think we're invincible. What advice would you give yourself, or what advice would you give to young people? I love that this podcast is inspiring young people to work harder, make money, get this shit together. They walk up and shake my hand. Clinton, I love listening to your guests. I love listening to their struggles. I love listening to how they accomplish stuff, and they're thanking me. And I love mentoring young people to be successful in life. What would you tell yourself? We may not have listened to 20 either. What would you have told yourself now later in life, if anything?
There's not any big steps that I go, God, if I could do that again, because I handled it pretty well.
Okay, fair enough.
College to teaching school to, I will, maybe one. And this struck home, and it's something you said. When you're young, you got to go to wherever works best. I had quit teaching school in Havre, Montana. Mm-hmm. It's the top of frickin' Montana. Mm-hmm. It isn't Yellowstone. I'm in Havre, Montana. My wife, she wasn't my wife yet. We got together. She was in Arizona, very happy, had an amazing teaching job there. I had quit teaching sitting in Havre, Montana, and I was scared to move to Arizona, and I made my girlfriend at the time pick up and move back to where she had gone to high school, Havre, Montana, nothing really there, but I was afraid to move. I feel like if I would have had the nuts to leave my family, which was my mom and dad, and go maybe to Arizona or meet partway, sacrifice a little, things in the long run maybe would have been a little better.
Yes.
It came up later. I picked up and moved to Montana for you when really there was nothing here. It struck home when you said, when you're young, you got to go where the money was. I felt like my future in rodeo was up north, Montana, and this. Really, I could have moved there. She had a great teaching job. I still could have come up there. That's the one thing that I look at and go, yeah, damn it, I was a pussy.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to jump off the ship and not know where the next lily pad is.
And I didn't
just
know
start
how.
fucking swimming.
Yeah. She came from a family that moved a lot. I came from a family that never moved.
See, that's different.
Yeah.
I tell you why that's different, okay? I got this from my parents. My parents and us as a family, we must have moved 15 fucking times.
Yeah, see, and we never...
And it was very normal. Every 3 or 4... You know why they moved? Make more money. They build a house, build it up, make it nice, sell it, make a profit. Go to this town. That we moved a lot as a family. So it was natural. I left fucking high school at 15 and left my home. I left my country at age 21 and moved to America with $400. People say, how did you have the balls to move to another country with no contacts and $400? And I'm like, well, fuck, what have I got to lose?
No plan B.
No plan B. There's no money.
Yeah.
What the fuck? This is where America was. This is the greatest country in the world. So to me, moving was easy. But I can appreciate what you said. I've seen other families that they still live in the same town they grew up on, and it stifles them. They're too scared to jump.
So, okay. By the way, as we're doing this, my 86-year-old parents are sitting in the house I grew up in. And they're great. It's a small town. That's fine. Recently moved to Fort Worth. 56 years old. I talked to my 25-year-old daughter a couple times a day.
Yeah.
And I said, Shelby, this is the right thing for me to do. I have to do it to go for work. But this, I didn't think I'd be doing this at this age. I got to make some new friends. I got to find places to eat. I got to get completely reconfigure my life and reprogram and find different things. And my 25-year-old daughter said, Dad, what if you went through your entire life and never had to figure that out? What if everything in life was you just rolled through and you sat in the same town you grew up in? What kind of person would that make you, and how would you ever become great?
You wouldn't.
My own daughter told me that.
That's pretty well wise.
Yeah.
You have to be uncomfortable. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not reaching, you're not growing, you're not stretching. Every time I made more money, I got uncomfortable first, and I made more money. And then when I got uncomfortable again, I made more money again. Without a doubt, every time you typically move destinations, towns, states, whatever, it'll be a bump in money. A better career, a better job. I'm not saying every move, but as a general rule, when you get out of your hometown mentality, and I don't want to come across as I'm shitting on rural America, because I'm not.
No, me too.
But what I want to
Yeah.
make clear is this: you can only grow as a fish when you stay in this pond. When this pond is so big, you can't outgrow that pond. You get bigger, you can be a bigger fish. You get a bigger pond again, you can get a bigger fish. You can only grow as a fish with the body of water you're fucking in. So you've got to get uncomfortable. Me, that's why I have zero sympathy for people that say, well, I don't know how to leave my town. Or I move countries, bitch. I move entire countries. With $400.
And it's a long ways. I've been on that flight.
You get what I'm saying?
It's
So
a long
fuck
ways.
you.
It's a really long drive.
You can move states.
Yeah.
You can move towns.
Yeah.
Jump, bitch. Jump out of the goddamn boat and start fucking swimming. And I got that attitude from my mother and father, but especially my mother. She always says, when one door closes, another one will open. Be ready. Be looking. Start swimming. Because when you swim, you may not exactly know where the fucking destination is, but something's going to show up. Life will put a boat in front of you. It'll put an island. It'll put something there. So don't be I really appreciate you mentioning that, because again, my golden rule is, as a young person up to 30, if you can't pack your life up within 6 hours, you've got too much shit. Think that through. When there's a job offer for $100,000, but you got to move to another country, you got to move to Arizona, can you get it done or not? Can you do it in 6 hours? And if you can't, start fucking throwing some shit overboard. Now, after 30, get some roots, get some family, have 58 kids. I don't give a fuck. But that decade to me is from 20 to 30, Flint. Let's think about where the Energizer Bunny. You got so much energy between 20 and 30, you'll never get that back again. It's the decade where you got the most energy, but you're the most fucking stupid. You know what I mean? You got the most energy, but you're the most goddamn immature and stupid. You're never going to get that energy back again. So build your career, build your skill set, build your foundation of an adult. Don't party that fucking decade off because it sure gets harder. Every decade, your energy goes down, your body breaks down, everything starts going to fuck. So basically, your words of wisdom would be, don't be scared to get out and leave your hometown. Don't be scared to move out of where you live. Would that be it?
Yeah. Real quick, because I know we got to wrap up, but when I was in my second year of teaching school and I was sitting in the teacher's lounge. I've told this story before, and I said to them, all the teachers, we were eating lunch, and I said, guys, I'm getting more and more phone calls about this rodeo clown thing. I think I'm going to give it a try. I think I'm going to quit teaching. It was my second year. And there was 2 teachers standing in that doorway. They were leaning on the door jamb. They said, Rasmussen, we all talk about it. All us teachers, we talk about going and doing something else. Mark our words, 15 years from now, you're going to be sitting on that same couch, eating lunch, and drinking coffee out of the same cup. And I resigned the next day.
Fucking love it. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
That's
buddy.
a vision, motherfucker.
There you go.
That's crabs keep another crab in the bucket. You know what I mean? Humans do that to each other. Instead of celebrating somebody, crabs, when one crab climbs out, the other crab grabs it by the leg and jerks it back down the bottom. When I'm a crab and I see a crab climb out of the bucket, I'm like, fuck yeah, he escaped. It inspires me, people doing cool shit.
Well, that's because you've tried to get your crabs to go away for a long time. I mean,
you clearly have read my doctor's report, haven't you?
I mean, you're like, crabs, go away, crabs.
The son of a bitch, I'll stick with a man. But Flint, I have the utmost respect for you. You're loved dearly in the Western world. You have a unique skill set and a talent, and I'm so glad you brought it to the Western industry. There was a lot of grind that went into your career. It wasn't all glamorous. We got to see the glamorous Flint. I got to see the glamorous Flint, but I was sure smart enough to know that there was a whole nother side of your career that was fucking ugly and hard and difficult and tired, and I'm proud of for what you did. Thank you for coming on the podcast and telling your story. I hope it inspires a lot of other young people to follow their dreams, grow a set of balls, man or woman. We're transgender now, motherfucker. Grow a set of balls and get out there and follow your dream. You only got one fucking life. Shake the shit out of it. Shake the goddamn shit out of it. And if it fails, it fails. But at least you'll know you gave it everything you got. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Today's episode is brought to you by Cold Creek Equine, makers of the best equine spa in the industry. If you want your horses to be world champions, you better put them in a Cold Creek. Today's episode was filmed and produced by Uncut Productions, marketing by Stewart & Associates, and organized and administrated by Down Under Horsemanship. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a rating. Follow us and stay up to date on social media, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. See you next time, mate. Cheers.